All right, more Group D for you people, and it's the Battle of the Bottom. And help me with that title.
Yes.
It is like, yes, indeed, Jackie. Thank you for giving me credit for that. But okay, we got two teams at the bottom of Group D going head-to-head, and the pressure is certainly on here. We got Secret versus DarkZero, and it's no secret. These teams are hungry for a win, Jack.
Yeah, both of them. I mean, DarkZero have taken a win, but it was that 2-1 win against Heroic on the very first play day. And obviously Secret lost out 0-2 to Heroic yesterday.
Okay, so Anne, let's start off with Secret here. And they did well in EU. SI, different story, okay? And this is an emotional team. So is this going to hurt or help them on the international stage?
Well, yeah, if you look at their last part of EU, right, the close qualifiers, they did improve massively. And internationally, they're an amazing team. They've actually never lost an international matchup before. That may have to do with the fact that they haven't played an international matchup yet in the last few years. But, well, they've not lost one yet. So, hey, they're taking on their first international matchup. They've proven themselves to be improved, rather, in EU. But now this is a really big improvement for them too internationally.
What are you smiling about over there?
Oh, I was going to say they lost an international match yesterday, but it was against a regional team, so I see where Anne's going with that.
Okay. Well, Fresh, you did actually notice something interesting about these two teams that's worth noting. They're plant heavy.
Yeah. Both of these teams are plant-heavy based teams. I call them, especially Secret, I've said this about them in EUL, they are the vegans because they are plant-based that much. So what I'm expecting out of these two teams is genuinely they're playing for plants, they're playing for objective. Now, DarkZero, you're expecting them to be a little bit slower, a bit more strategical, whereas Secret, it's a little bit more off the cuff. It's a little bit kind of, they don't mind rushing if they're going to force a plant.
My concern, though, for Secret, what we saw yesterday, is that they're not that great in holding off the plants, or the post plant rather, when they've actually got it down successfully. We saw that versus Heroic. They did really struggle a little bit, like holding the post plant down perfectly.
Yeah, and I think you can see from this graphic, obviously DarkZero nice and up there on the plants. Secret, rough day yesterday, but did get a lot of plants down just from one game to get a decent plant rate. But like you say, Anne, less than a 25% attack win rate, even though they're focusing on plants and trying to cheese some rounds, that's got to improve genuinely if you're going to play international competition like this.
Honestly, Fresh, your graphics right now, they're wildly good.
We've been having a lot of fun.
I'm just telling you right now, like visually, like I'm understanding what's going on, which is great.
Cool.
Because anyway, moving on to DarkZero. Okay, so Fresh, they got the war paint on. They are out for blood. They lost yesterday, but there are some big brains on this team. And Canadian actually tweeted out one of the worst games I called in a while. That's intense. How do you think that they're resetting?
And I think actually that's the mentality of a winner, right? It's like when you're the mentality of a winner, Canadian is a natural born winner. He has been a natural born winner across this game in totality. Obviously, he's won a world championship. When he's won two. When you're like that, you're the person that's most critical. Doesn't matter what anybody else says. And Canadian will know. He said yesterday, I didn't call this game well. We played badly. They will be looking for a reaction. He will be looking for a reaction from himself, but also from his team. This could be potentially, for Secret, a very, very dangerous time to be playing DarkZero.
Well, yeah, we saw it on their bank attacks yesterday against FaZe, right? They weren't able to win a single attack in round on bank. Their adaptability wasn't good enough. We saw that FaZe was really able to read into what DarkZero was doing, and that's why you could see, for example, that the calling or the shot calling or IGLing maybe wasn't the greatest it has ever been.
And I also want to pick your brain about this. We've all been saying this. DarkZero has an impressive lineup, a star-studded squad, but some of their star players have been a little bit inconsistent at SI.
Well, I mean, you have Canadian on this roster, right? He's one of the 7 players that has attended every single SI. But then you also have some rookies on the team or some younger players. And there have been a few of those that have been all over the scoreboard, really. Like we've seen NGRB MVP. But we've also seen games where he was at the very bottom of the scoreboard. So inconsistent player performance, that might make it really difficult to rely on certain people to perform.
I do think, though, Gav's come in and he's done Gaveni's come in and done a great job there. In terms of literally out of absolutely nowhere, they've brought him in. His Tier 1 debut is at the Six Invitational in quite a tricky group to navigate, and he's more than held his own as well. So there's some, I would say, inconsistencies from DarkZero. There's ups and downs with this roster, and it's just about hitting that up.
All right, well, let's get into the nitty-gritty. We got the map ban info up there. And how do you feel about this?
Well, for DarkZero, they've picked Skyscraper, right? They have one win on this map, and it's also their best attack and win rate. They won it. Sorry, no, I am talking about the wrong team. I'm doing a little bit of a mistake here, sorry. No, for DarkZero, they have a loss on this map. They lost it versus Oxygen in NAL. They tend to bend this map quite often, and they also have a very poor defensive win rate. So for them to pick it, it's quite peculiar, you could say.
I have it literally as their permaban, but if you look at the gravity and magnitude of this situation, if you've been practicing a permaban to bring out a Six Invitational, you've played 2 games, you're only on 3 points, and that team below you, you're managing to play them when they're in a bad run of form, and you want a 2-0 win, this is the perfect time to be bringing that permaban out.
Yeah, and then Secret pick Bank, which is not a big surprise if you've been watching any EUL game over the last few months. This was practically the only map that they could win during EUL. Most of those games were 8-7 victories, and they will really need to focus today on winning their attacks, because their defensive win rate overall hasn't been that greatest on this map. Their attacking win rate so far this tournament, maybe not the greatest either, but they'll need to focus on winning those for sure.
Okay. Predictions time. Oh, Fresh, I see you adjusting your glasses. Okay, what are you thinking?
Don't do this to me, Jackie. I think map bans, I would say, on the balance of things, favor Secret.
Okay.
I think, you know, DarkZero is obviously bringing out a map that we don't know much about them on. But Secret like all 3 of the maps that they're going to play should they get there. However, that emotional point is one that I cannot get over. This team is so emotional. They might well still be very angry and upset from that loss yesterday. So if they lose the first couple of rounds here, it could be an absolute landslide. So for that reason, I'm going to say DarkZero.
Oh. Anne, what are you thinking?
It is a long run. We haven't really spoken about our decider yet, which is a pretty good map for DarkZero, you could say. They've actually won this map as well versus Heroic during SI, and it's their best attack and win rate. So if we get to that map and Secret's mental is gone down a little bit because they have lost a map, for example, then it could really turn out positive for DarkZero.
Okay, so locking in DarkZero as well?
I could say so, yeah.
Okay, I could say so. Yeah. Okay, you know what? Okay, all right, I get it. Well, we'll see how it all plays out, right? DarkZero and Secret are ready to go. Des and Ace, are y'all comfy and casual today? Are you wearing slippers like me? That's what I want to know.
Comfy casual?
Not wearing a hoodie.
Don't have slippers.
No.
Jackie certainly pulled it. That's a key choice there. That's
you know what? I love the
good
late,
idea.
I love the late shift. We're kind of in.
That's
like,
it. We're on the late shift.
So, like I can have a coffee. We can chill out a little bit. We can have a laugh. We always have a laugh together too.
I was going to say early shift, late shift doesn't really matter.
But now more than ever, we can have a bit of a laugh. And I'm looking forward to this game as well because I think for DarkZero yesterday, it was a rough one. They lost 2-0 to FaZe, as the desk have already touched on. Troy came out and said, you know, that was the worst called game that he believes he's had in years. Missed timings, poor attacks, and it felt really like DarkZero lost to themselves. So I'm really excited to see if they can turn things around here, but also for Secret, the underdogs that I feel everyone has written off coming into this tournament. You know, they came in through quals. They're the last placed EU team among 7. They're the last ones to be excited about, but that just means an upset from them is all the more sweet and fulfilling, Tim.
I think the way to look at that, isn't it? It's sort of, you know, underestimate them at your peril.
Yeah.
Really. You know, you've got to still put some respect on the name. You know, make sure that you're fully prepared for what you're going to be facing. So we're going to have the bans coming in. Team Secret take away Ying, and DarkZero will take away Knock, and then we'll get on to those defensive bans. As I've said a couple of times already, I'm really enjoying... Ooh, a bandit ban. I'm really enjoying the banning phase. I feel like we've got to maybe a bit of a sweet spot where there's enough bans, but enough operator variety. You know, I feel like maybe 12, 18 months ago, you know, you had those sort of perma bans of operators where you can't do that anymore. Like, Azami's available now, but it's quite often we'll see an Azami. But I just feel like we get that nice rotation now. I feel like it's just a...
Yeah. Hang on, let's do that again. It's
in a sweet spot. It's really good. Like, we've got Mirror available now, whereas, you know, we went for a period of time where Mirror would just never be played. You know, we have games where Valkyrie's available, and we just have that variety rolling through, and I just think it's nice.
The interesting thing about this is the Secret have actually had the Bandit banned away against them before on this map. So clearly DarkZero are reading into a similar sort of play. Secret would often ban away the Kaid and look to bring out the Bandit as an alternative, and they would go to that for a lot of their denial. That, I think, is exactly what DarkZero are looking to remove, and you may have just seen in chat that there's a cursor bug, so you may have a rehost in just a second. But again, with the Bandit taken away, the Kaid is now on the field, so they still want to play in behind the electrification. One thing I do kind of want to comment...
They just find the bomb site and then rehost the party. Yeah!
They're the castle's main window. They have a single dragon. Frost man's spawn window. Frost man the master.
They just found the bomb.
There's a bunch of players having a conversation. Once we come back into things in just a moment, one thing I'm really excited about seeing this map for DarkZero. I know they've already played it once before, but for me, I need to listen. I can't help it. Yes, you have to go
same operators, same site.
I know the reception doors, yeah, but what else?
I think green window and was it VIP?
Okay, I know.
No, I don't think it was VIP.
The dragon window.
Maybe
No.
Can I go to the bathroom?
No.
Man.
Right, I think
honestly.
I just like raised my hand like it was elementary school.
Why can I not
I don't
talk
gotta
about
go,
it?
but like,
But
it wouldn't hurt to go. That's some bullshit.
It's always the risk of letting players talk too long, isn't it?
It's always the problem. It's always a problem.
Always a problem. But no,
risk and reward. We'll take the risk so that you can have the reward.
I mean, you know me. I embrace chaos. I'll take that gamble
absolutely.
every day of the week.
Not a problem at all. I think there's an interesting point to talk about there, and that is the site choice. We saw there that it was master and bathroom. It was bedroom and bathroom downstairs. Pretty much fourth choice site, really. We don't ever really see that.
Let me stop you right there.
Go on.
Who's on defense?
Yes.
Who is on defense? Secret, because you saw the Bandit Band come through and they played the Kaid. So I think back to Kendra playing this in the early iterations to Secret before they made a couple of roster changes they've got now. They would defend this side making use of a mirror and look to play C4s below. Their whole thing was, we're not going to try and contest you on the breach going into Exhibition, for example. We'll just C4 when you look for that vertical control. So although they are attacking in towards this downstairs site, I imagine they're going to play it very similar. They're almost saying, try and take the top floor at your own peril. There will be C4s heading skywards because basically the entirety of that upstairs is soft flooring above the site itself.
So we head back into the same site, same operator lineup. As you said, it's like I said, it certainly warrants conversation. Does the site choice? We would normally.
It does it?
It does. I think it does.
Warrants choice. What did you say? It warrants choice. It does. Is that what you said?
It warrants discussion.
Yeah, but then it's the way you said "does it." It was very northern.
Said the site choice warrants discussion.
Does it, or something you said like that?
Doesn't it?
No, you didn't say "doesn't it."
No, you just.
I think you said "does it." That's what confused me. It's another Manchesterism.
10 seconds left before insertion.
A Burnley-ism.
The site choice is buzzing.
Can I jump in for a second?
You can, yeah.
Cheers, mate. Thanks.
Go for it. Why not? I mean, I'm hardly breaking down the strategy.
Less on the strategy for me, more the point I'm looking towards here is thinking about how DarkZero play maps like Chalet. Okay. Freebie number one.
It's gonna be. I tell you now. There you go. Easy.
Collected. Gaveni, welcome to a European showdown. But the point was before he just got absolutely slaughtered off the rip, was that when I think about DarkZero on maps like Chalet, they were one of the teams that really pioneered almost like a chess-like playstyle to it. They were really good at using Capital from double window on Mez to assault a player that would be playing on Mez behind a shield, for example, at the same time making plays elsewhere too. They're the kind of team that had NGR kind of pioneering that box play inside of or above library in library on exactly the same map. They had all these really cool strategical ideas on both attack and defense that made the game feel a little bit slow at points, and I feel that's what we saw a bit too much of yesterday, a bit too much of a slowdown. And I'm excited to see what ideas they've got on Skyscraper. They are the team to watch if you want to see very mechanical, almost elegant executes, but only when they get it wrong, which often they don't. Often they do, even.
Two defenders that are currently positioned upstairs, and that is what DarkZero are looking to deal with to begin with. I can tell you there's one in Dragon and there is one in Exhibition for the time being. So it's going to be a long push across for DarkZero yet before they start really meeting any serious resistance. It looks like a third has made the way up as well. They were on main stairs. I think they've just got themselves up into to reception area. They're just dipping up and down. There's actually a fourth joining as well. So Secret's certainly throwing numbers members at this top floor hold you can see there right at your screen. So you've got 1, 2, 3 that are solidly positioned up on the top floor, exhibition, office, and what I'll call reception. And then there's one that's just sort of the Azami is just dipping up and down the stairs. Savage there, just keeping mobile.
And I like what they've actually gone for as well. They've got 3 ADSs below the electrified wall. So if you're trying to get nades in below to clear that Kite Electrical off, good luck. It means you need to go and take the ground itself if you're ever going to have any hope of trying to get that wall open and get real control, which isn't that simple, as Secret are currently proving. DarkZero having to figure their way through a bit of an unknown problem here, which is why I think they look a little bit, I don't know, dissected by Secret is the only way that I can describe it. 2 left standing in Skies and Canadian. But it's a lot to do against 5 members of Secret, Tim.
Beautiful kill from Sleben. That just happened along the way there. The man moved in behind the small bar and Sleben was having absolutely none of it. Skies has rotated around on the ace. He's going to try and open up that reception wall to just try and make life difficult. That's obviously one of the beachheads for the defenders, really, is just, you know, that's where they're playing from and behind. They've got Kiba barricades, everything else set up, but Sky's going in there. He's going to be immediately challenged, but he's ready for Savage. Manages to take his head off, and that leaves us now in a 4 versus 2, but Skies is going to take a lot of damage and be shut down as he comes in. That's going to be Groovy managing to find that kill. Astro finishes us up, and that is a good first round from Secret.
No, sir.
Yeah, fucking go through this.
That's so slow.
So slow. That's so slow.
Outsiders 2.0.
So slow. I agree with that statement. I think that is the exact summary of what was wrong with DarkZero in that round, and it's a weakness that everyone points out about them, is despite it looking really elegant when it works, it is very slow. It's almost like they feel unable to move forward until a certain step of the checklist has been stepped off there. But with them being tripped up by Secret at the early part of the round, being caught out a couple of times on the way through, it kind of felt like you had 5 players all trying to do their own separate parts of the strat that never really intertwined or coalesced together to make a big impact. But part of that I'll put down to, again, a really cool strategy coming out of Secret, starting on a site that no other team really would, and pulling off a really cool strategy on it as well.
Yeah, it just worked out. You know, I think, do you get away with that every time? Probably not. But I think there was an element there of DarkZero not really knowing how to attack it. I think, you know, it's not a site, as I've said, that you're going to play very often on. You know, the process is kind of the same as Exhibition Office. It's working across. But no, they just didn't really have any answers to what Team Secret had set up. So well played, Team Secret. We're going to move into round 2 then. It's going to be karaoke and tea rooms. So we are back to much more of a norm. Team Secret are heavily investing away from site at the minute. There's only 1 player on site. There's a couple downstairs, a couple over on the Exhibition Office side. So once again, DarkZero are going to need to work their way in. And this could well prove successful for Team Secret, given what we saw in that first round, and I'm sure things are going to change for DarkZero. But if slow is a problem, then you spread out around the map and you give them a lot of ground to cover and a lot of ground to clear. And teams that are playing slowly are going to struggle with that.
And I think you're going to see more of that coming through here with how Secret have got themselves set up. 4 of them looking to work around in the ground floor here. Does mean for now, at least, the upstairs is a little bit empty. I think 2 players now potentially set up here. Yep, there we go. 1 at the top of Black and also 1 hanging out around Shrine. The rest is looking to chew through the drones as they come rolling through the map, but also take out the players as they get a little bit bold. But I just love how already they're having to check every single window they step in through for a frost mat. It was there in round 1. It's not guaranteed that it's not going to be there in round 2. And the Solus is making sure that there's no information able to be collected on who all the 5 operators are that are inside the map.
And it's another part of Secret spreading out as much as they have around the map. You know, once those drones are picking defenders up all around the map, like you say, any window could have a frost mat on it. You know, any window could have, you know, the challenge coming in. So it's not going to be easy. Pamba's going to manage to find himself 1 onto Sleben. That's going to be a vertical nade. Nice freebie, but there's 1 in return for Kendrew, managing to pick up Gaveni, and that's going to leave us now in a 4 versus 4. 1 minute 30, and we've still got multiple members of DarkZero outside of the map. There's over halfway through.
You mean you probably asked the question straight away, why was he in there by himself there, Gaveni, right? He's pushing into a spot that clearly hasn't been droned, had no idea Kendrew was sat lurking just outside of the barbecue in the hallway towards Black Stairs. So it's a freebie. There's no response being found by the other side. I'm with you. If he's in there by himself, why aren't the others in there with him? Or if the plan is to be outside at that point, why aren't they taking things a little bit slower? Kendrew just narrowly missing out on what could have been the second kill there, coming in upstairs, but he still owns Black Stairs. Popping out, as you just saw a second ago, one of those Vulcan canisters. And Rotero coming in behind will at least force him back up the stairs, but there's no real pressure to follow off the back of it. And again, little bits of utility are being missed out and ignored here. that were my catching out one of those frag grenades.
Pamba, I think, was pretty fortunate when he rappelled onto the balcony there that Kendra didn't do any damage at all. You know, they might have been a bit lucky if Kendra had hit a headshot, for example, but I'm surprised that none of the bullets connected at all.
There it is.
Kendra is ultimately going to find Pamba, though. It takes about a minute, but he does manage to pick him up. Astro's going to go down to NJR, and that's going to leave us now 3v3, but time is becoming the factor here, and once again, DarkZero have been too slow. They're not in a position to execute, really. They're just going to have to throw this at the wall and see what sticks, and right now there's not much sticking as Savage manages to find Canadian. Groovy onto NJR. Savage with a second, finishing things off, and Team Secret take round 2 confidently.
They look completely unbothered by DarkZero, right? It isn't like they're playing against a team that's had some great successes, won the Charlotte Major. It's, yeah. Thought we might hear something fun then. But no, again, it just looks comfortable, right? I mean, the fact that Kendrew is sat alone on Black Stairs, yet is being pushed separately by one player, then by another. They're not even aware that he's there. He's then able to step up and get a second kill on there, get back onto site without being punished. It's far too comfortable for Secret. There's not enough pace coming out of DarkZero, and I know we're only 2 rounds in, but honestly, I'm thinking already a tactical timeout really should have come out for DarkZero there. They need a pause. They've got to get the speed going, not forgetting this is their map pick. They wanted to come here. I know it's been one of their least favorites for the longest time, but if you're picking it, it means you've prepped it. It means you feel comfortable coming in. So far, DarkZero look anything but.
Normally, I'd probably be not strongly disagreeing, but I'd be saying, 2 rounds is very early for a tactical timeout. But I appreciate what you're saying. Like you said, it's on their map pick, but there's a bigger problem at hand here, Des. We're talking about speed, we're talking about difficulty getting in, clearing the map, getting the control that they need. Look at Team Secret's map choice for second map. It's Bank. That problem is just going to compound itself. It's going to get worse and worse if it carries on. So yes, I think it is a problem that DarkZero need to be solving. They need to be recognising, first of all, and they need to be solving it as soon as possible. So yeah, I don't think it would have been necessarily the end of the world. I don't think if there's another round or 2 going Team Secret's direction, I think that's exactly what we'll be seeing from DarkZero.
Can I invite to something a bit different here, Medics? I'd like to spend a bit more time in the overhead this round, just to kind of see the movement and shape of DarkZero, exactly when these players start on moving forwards. Because right now, as you can see, we've got all 5 stacked up here towards this northeast side. One thing I won't fault them for, I think it's not a bad idea to have you all playing as a unit when things are falling apart, when you're doing things alone. I'm all for that. But bearing in mind they've been here now so far for 30 seconds, I want to see some pace coming through. You've got the Flores Rotero starting to roll in, focusing on the utility. But so far, Secret are just saying, okay, they're coming from that side. We step back a little bit. We are still largely unbothered.
An interesting setup from Secret as well, with the mirror just playing onto the half-reinforced breach wall there. It's a combination of a few different things that we've seen. Slepen looking to get out. He's just desperate for that peak. If there's anybody on there, there isn't at the minute. They open up the wall with the Flores drop. That's it. It's almost like the mirror window in that position is sort of secondary to it. Canadian's going to move underneath on the book and try to get something going vertically. Oh, the Nitro down and gets the down. Beautiful heads-up play from Slepen there. Real big brain play.
All right, so again, the quick jump back on the overhead. Nothing has changed. The boys are still gathered around the office balcony. We've got one on the south side, which is a nice start, but that is it. They've opened up a softball. They've got a player in below trying to get some work done on opening up the floor and making Secret more uncomfortable, but so far all they've done, Tim, is gone through 2 minutes, and that is all they've done.
Well, that's it. Slepen dropping that Nitro down there has just wasted at least 30-40 seconds. They really wanted Canadian opening that floor up with the skeleton key as much as possible. He's going to start that process again, but they're down to 55 seconds. They've no real method of getting into sight at the minute. The breach is being watched by Slepen behind a mirror window. There's so much that they need to deal with, and they can't lose fights like that. Groovy goes out of the window. NJR was expecting that and still lost the fight. Pamba manages to get one, but there's answers coming back and forward. Diffuser going down though. Skies has managed to get himself in sight somehow. That Nitro is just going to be too late, I think, and it is now a retake for Team Secret.
They haven't really got big power positions held, though, here, DarkZero. I know they've got the balcony to play behind. That's a great angle coming out of Skies as well. It feels like they might have actually got away with one here as well. There's the next kill coming on through. For the longest time, it looked like nothing was happening in that round, but Secret allowing a little bit too much room and letting the plant go down.
Good ship, boys.
Yeah, I think that's the problem. I think Team Secret have just given them too much.
They are the most peaceful, war paint-bearing people I think I've ever seen in history.
Well, I gave them a second there, and there was just too much sound, so there was nothing going on. But like you said, they're trying to manage that energy as well. You know, they can't be, going into every round sort of screaming and shouting because it's not going to do them any good. But yeah, Team Secret, I think just... I'm disappointed. I've got to say, I'm disappointed in the last 45 seconds to a minute there. I felt like they'd done so much good work. They'd wasted so much time with Canadian underneath. They'd kept control of the map really well. They got the great jump out. NJR was expecting it and still lost the fight. There was so much going in their favour, and then they just seemed to back off and let DarkZero in to get the diffuser down. You know, we know from these two sides they're both heavily plant focused so far in this tournament. Some of the highest planting teams, they're wanting to get that diffuser down. So give them the opportunity, and that's exactly what they're going to do. If you're going to play with an Astro underneath, you've got to be in position ready to pull the trigger on it, you know?
Yeah, I think it was more the fear of, okay, we know that Canadian had been pulled back up, where were they going to be, what was the stop going to look like. Just didn't quite catch the movements coming out of DarkZero and got caught blindsided, I think, on the back foot for the side of Team Secret. Here we go, though, Barbecue and Kitchen, the next site that we're going to go into. Again, we'll keep an eye on DarkZero because the last 2 minutes were quite slow. I do want to see a little bit more pace being injected. And hopefully after that last round win, we are seeing them build up a bit of momentum here, keep things moving forwards, and don't find yourself stepping back into how round 1 or 2 went.
I think their execution and ability to put the diffuser down on the ground is absolutely fine.
Bro, you can see the drone.
Bro, Canadians go for this. It could be an opener. No, Astro just manages to dip away at the very last second there. He's just going to rotate around, and Canadian needs to be careful now because he might just find Astro on his tail. But no, Astro's going to dip back towards sight into Kitchen. But I feel like the end of the round is kind of fine for DarkZero. Once they have the time, it's not a major problem. So yeah, speed up that first half of the round, get the control they need, and they'll do a lot better. But they're not really paying too much attention to the top floor at the minute, and that could come back to bite them.
We've seen teams try and plant on this site before without top floor control, and it has really stung. Kitchen becomes almost impossible because of the hatch. And over on Barbecue, well, things look even worse because of all the holes that get opened up inside of Karaoke and T. Gaveni is working on the upstairs, has that book skeleton key in hand to help open up as much of that flooring as required. And I think we've already seen the impact of Canadian on the DKB as well, just forcing Astro further back. But I don't expect Secret to stay still for too long. They're always looking to move and stay busy.
Just going to be getting the Dragon Wall open, which is going to be start of the process for trying to move Groovy. He's going to just have a look out there, the Soulless gadget just telling him exactly which wall's being opened, and anybody else that's ahead of him, anybody that might be drawing it, just gives him a little idea as to maybe how many are going to be pushing into him. But the thing is, with 1:10 left on the clock, Team Secret don't have to engage too heavily here, Des. They can just drop back from Drum, they can drop back from Shrine, they can burn another 30-40 seconds on this top floor without even really risking themselves.
They really want a big kitchen hit. There's one on the window here as well. That kill might be the big one if it comes out, but it's not going to be a thing right now. The smoke going in through the smoke as well. Up nice and close. One for Kendrew. Gets the finish off, but gets put down in the dirt by NJR straight after. That's kitchen somewhat exposed now, so Team Secret needs to be really careful in this 2v4.
A good quick push. That's the speed that we want to see out of DarkZero. They've only burnt 15 seconds there, and they've got themselves in a position to put the diffuser down on the ground. It's all up to Sleben, and he is going to have a tough time of it now. 1 versus 4, and he's got to start finding some kills. NJR, I'm asking the question. I was just about to ask the question, why is that diffuser not going down? Get yourself into a position that's safe from above. Ultimately, Canadian finds that kill from the top floor, and that is going to be leveling things up for DarkZero.
It's much nicer. Still nice and calm because they know there's still so much work to be done.
Time out? You changed the way you throw the flash there, Gav?
Twister!
Okay, now you just got lucky then. Traffic.
The comms are beautiful now. The only thing
Anything else, Troy?
is if they're aggressive. Right there, the last 2 rounds, like, they were kind of playing pussies back and up. I expect them to get in the face again.
Yeah.
If we do like a T, they're just walking around down low. Gap, just be a little bit more safer. You have the pocket, right? Like just keep watching yourself. I don't know if you want to switch to the house.
I was gonna say.
I think next time we literally do like a live run on it. I think so. Either I go Thatch or you go Thatch and I go. One of us goes Doke.
I was gonna say I think I'm gonna go Doke and let's just push with them.
Okay.
But they're just walking in.
Yeah.
Or you can even do just shit.
I think we should not let them execute. I think we either win the round early or we play to retake.
Good one. Let's play a good one.
Because like
2 really key points I took from that, to be honest with you, Tim. 1, we caught it in last round as well. The DKB that was coming out really good at forcing Astra away. And you've got this kind of push of two forces. Like you also heard from Secret, we don't want to let them execute, whereas DarkZero is saying, well, we want to get to the site in time before we're in the last 10 seconds. That's what the DKB is helping with. But I think here you might see even more aggression coming out from Team Secret. So far, Sky's on the Jackal. Maybe we'll see that DKB roped in as well, or changed out for one of the two fights that we'll see very, very shortly. But now you know what the game plan is. It's can DarkZero execute, or can Team Secret stop them before that?
Yeah, as Kendrew said, you know, can we win it early? Can we win it at the beginning of the round? You know, and to be fair, you look at the way that they started in round 1 and 2, particularly round 1, Savage right up at the door, got the early pick onto Gaveni and just gave them the advantage, and Team Secret were able to push forward from there. So yeah, I think the entry may be particularly important for them, give themselves that advantage and just get a bit aggressive, get out into the map more. It's something they were doing in the first couple of rounds. It's not really worked out thereafter. But yeah, it could be an interesting clash of two styles coming up.
I'm not too sure about the Jackal. Like, I understand the point of it, but I really feel the DKB was more valuable because as soon as Secret start committing 2-3 players out to be aggressive onto you, one of those being a Solus is denying away a lot of your drone play. I just feel like Jackal's not going to be enough, honestly. I think you're going to need a little bit more than that. We'll see how it comes to be if Skies can find a player or two and sniff them out before they can do any real damage. But we're keeping a close eye out for Team Secret and the disruption they're trying to run inside the first 2 minutes.
Well, this is it. The danger of playing the Jackal with the Solus on side as well is that I would expect Jackal's gadget to be active and visible a lot more of the time than somebody like Dorkaby necessarily. So yeah, certainly an interesting point. But Savage, he's going to be playing right up against that window, and this is what Team Secret were saying, you know, let's get up in their faces, let's win this early in the round. And that's what we're seeing them doing. They're right up at the edge of the map. They're right up challenging windows, breaches, everything. You know, DarkZero still not established inside of the map after a minute. They're not having any safe space to move into at this point in time. So, you know, we can see that in action from Team Secret at the minute.
I don't hate it too much, only because they know they can't really get the drones in the building, so things do have to be a little bit slower. It's why Solus is such an oppressive operator and why so many players have either played her or why teams have banned her away so far throughout the competition. I'd be really keen to see at some point tomorrow, actually, what a pick rate is. Well, presence rate more like, which is the combination of pick rate plus ban rate to see, okay, actually how often is she being a factor in these games. Time will tell on that one at the very least. So for now, no one yet being taken down by Team Secrets. They're still maneuvering around DarkZero, working their way through. They've got the control on the downstairs, and Gaveni's down here on the buck. No doubt looking to open up and soften up sight a little bit before the rest of DarkZero look to start their push forward. But we are coming towards that last 60 seconds, and the plan needs to start coming together around about now.
Skys is going to grab the diffuser and going to be ready to rappel in through the window potentially. So it looks like it's going to be a karaoke plant. There isn't anybody from Team Secret actually inside of karaoke at the minute. They're sort of defending much deeper. They're out over towards Terrace Drum. There's one at Gold Bars. So Team Secret definitely need to think about this because DarkZero have the space here, Des. They've got the space to go in and plant.
They do. There is a frostmap waiting which will easily be cleared away, mind you. It's more the fact that grenades and stuff are still being eaten up by these were my magnets and ADSs. There's a bit of work to do really on DarkZero's side to scout out that utility, I think, or at least burn through it with things like flashes rather than those oh-so-crucial smokes and frag grenades.
Skys has relocated. He's going to get himself up at Black Stairs instead, looking to potentially push into T-Room here. He's going to need to find a kill, I think, just in behind. No, Gold Bars has actually moved out and is now in the drum area. So there is an opportunity potentially, but they're going to be cut down by the long angles of Groovy. That's not ideal, though, as Sleben takes out Kendrew on a team kill. 4 seconds left to go, and the diffuser is down cold. It's a secret round, and I think a bit of indecision maybe hurt DarkZero then.
Yeah. They were playing everything, though, but I mean, I guess we could have fought.
Bro, I was like, what?
Nice.
Yeah. Someone fucking team killed me. Huh?
I think really the big thing to me towards the back end of that one was, again, DarkZero just running out of time. And
bit of indecision.
Bit of
indecision.
The thing is, I thought they started quite well. I know they're having to be careful because of Solus. They're not getting picked off, for example. They are slowly trying to force Secret back in towards sight, but at 30 seconds, we still had 3 on the downstairs, 1 working through top black. And you saw what happened. I commented on the grenades as well. That smoke that was coming out was going to be the thing that let them get down the hallway and get some really good control. But with it being caught out by the magnet and doing literally nothing except impeding their own view, it made it far too easy for Groovy and the rest of the team to pick up the kills they needed in the close. 3-2 to Secrets. And the last round of the half coming right up.
Going to be heading over to Exhibition and Office for the final defense then. And really, it just seems to be the standing question for every single round. You know, will DarkZero be able to get into a position with enough time to execute? That's the question that we are watching play out in front of us every single time. When they do, they tend to win the round. When they don't, it tends to go towards Team Secret. So Secret, again, getting aggressive, up on doors, up on windows. It was something that they did last time. It kind of worked out for them. They burnt time, and, you know, that was the most precious commodity that DarkZero were missing.
Absolutely that. Well, that the KB is back on site. See how much work it can do in the round. Look on the other side as well, a bit more mobility being flashed off by Secret here as well. The Vigil, the Jaeger, the Alibi, even the Solus as well. The boys again recognizing that they need to be getting aggressive into the face of DarkZero and stopping those executes coming through. Thing is, in that last round, I didn't really feel like they were being too aggressive either. They weren't actively going out there and seeking gunfights. It was just seeing how they can waste time safely from DarkZero and then force them into a less favorable execute later in the round.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just about positioning. It's positioning and posturing. You know, without actually taking the fight, it's just making sure that your presence is known. You know, knock a barricade out, get seen on a drone. We're out there, we need to be dealt with, but then dropping back in a smart way. And like you say, it pays off. It wastes time. You know, if you can have DarkZero chasing shadows round for a minute and a half without losing a life, that's absolutely ideal.
Most definitely. A lot of focus here coming inside of, I was about to say Genshin then. I've been talking to her missus too much. She plays that game all the damn time. Geisha was what I meant, and sure enough, Savage is punished for quite an aggressive overpeak there, hoping to catch someone out. But there were two players on the upside down rappel for DarkZero, one watching terrace window, and one just on the balcony in general. And you just saw him pick up a kill there at the very start of that bit of aggression coming out from Team Secret. So whilst DarkZero put a lot of resource onto Geisha so far, they found one, but we're down to 1 minute and 20 in the round, and Secret still scrambling around. Not forgetting, Tim, that Geisha, of course, is the wrong side of the map. We've still got a lot of work to do to push through Dragon and Shrine, and then start looking in towards the site itself.
Indeed, there's going to be utility to clear and a push to be made. There's a minute left on the clock. Team Secret have all but dropped back now. We've got the alibi of Kendrew. He's just moved forward into Shrine and been absolutely deleted.
He's been focused on the drone there, that's the problem.
Just slammed him with the marksman rifle, and that puts Secret in a bit of a bad position here. This is DarkZero's wheelhouse. This is what the rounds that they've won, where they've got 50 seconds, man advantage, and they're pushing in towards site. They're in a position here with a little bit of swift movement where they can think about getting the diffuser down, they can think about that execute, and this is a team that loves to do that. I think Secret might struggle to hold on to this one.
I think they're almost overexposing themselves here and going too aggressive, like pushing out a breach blindly. Two words trying to put together was quite a struggle. Trying to go through that for one for Savage was bad. Then in the second there, trying to deal over the top of a shield to get rid of a drone that was taking out a shield you weren't even playing behind. Those are two overextensions coming out of Secret in this round. I completely get wanting to waste time, but not the go-to. Groovy gets in behind. How on earth does he slip through the DarkZero net and found himself two? Two come back the other way. Groovy's the last one left standing, but guess what? Shock horror. DarkZero out of time. They're going to be able to hold on here and close up this half 4-2.
Big mistake. Big mistake from DarkZero there.
Hey, you support her! Oh my god, man! Fucking hell, am I playing a turtle?
It's like playing a turtle! I mean, he's not wrong. It's been ridiculously slow. You know, the fact that we're getting to 120 and they're only just getting inside of Geisha, that's the real kicker for me. I mean, again, Secret, they made two big mess-ups in that round. There was no reason to lose the two players they did. But DarkZero, they beat them in shit play top trumps. They pull out, letting Groovy get on the flank and killing two of you. Unforgivable at that stage. You're in a 5 versus 3, boys. How have you let that happen?
Secret are going to be happy with a 4-2 half there, I think. Actually, I think, you know, there's a lesson to be learned there. You've picked up on the Savage peek out of the breach. You know, really, what Secret were trying to accomplish was making it difficult for DarkZero to get into the map. Savage could do that without going anywhere near the breach. He didn't need to aggress and try and find the kill. He was in drum, he had his line of sight through onto the breach, and DarkZero can't really step in with him there. They have to do something to get rid of him. They have to move around, and that's what's burning the time for DarkZero. So I think, yeah, Team Secret can learn to meter that a little bit, you know, and not get too aggressive there, but out for them nonetheless. So we move on to the defensive side for DarkZero, which you have to say is surely going to suit suit them better because time is less of a factor.
I mean, sure, the time doesn't hurt, but I'm more worried about the pace.
Less of a factor.
I'm worried about the pace, though, the lack of energy that we're not really seeing coming out of the boys at the minute. And what scares me most of him is going into bank next. That's even more punishing.
I said this rounds ago, didn't I? You're going to get punished even more for time on bank.
It's just... yeah. It's frustrating because we know that DarkZero can be great, right? We look back at Charlotte and we saw what they achieved there. Yeah, it's all doable. It's just not shining and showing when it's most important. To start off the round, though, you've got Secret straight up on the windows. 45 seconds in, they're already looking to post their way through a couple of areas here. Exhibition is going to be a big pushing point for them. Gaveni is expecting the push to come through, but as of yet, no one from Secret has dared push in. Here they come, though, and they've managed to get the cross as well. Looking completely the wrong way, mind you. They're getting caught in a crossfire slaughterhouse. Gaveni finds two. We'll find one bound for himself, at least Kendra in response, and now he's got to deal with Gaveni, but he's popped himself up on top. No, it's Pamba. A good defense coming out from DZ, 3 of them holding out by display and bringing down the vast majority of Secret.
4 versus 2, and honestly, DarkZero look like almost a different team in the first half of this round. You know, they've done fantastically well at stopping that push from Team Secret. Secret, Groovy and Savage doing a good job to get themselves into a fighting position at least. It's 2 versus 2.5, I'll say, given NJR is at near enough half hit points there. It's just DarkZero can stand up to the challenge when it's there, and like I said, with time management being less of a factor on defense, I feel like it will suit them better, but they've still got work to do here to close this round.
I mean, they've got work to do in the form of 3 kills because they don't have the why on earth as Pamba giving NJR giving himself away there. Sorry. Here comes another one as well. Groovy. Do you really want to face him down? Pamba says, yes, I do. Finds the kill and forces it to a 2 versus 1 for DarkZero. Savage doesn't have to defuse it as that's over in Exhibition. So he's got to find kills, but he looks the wrong way. Gaveni makes it a big 3K in the round.
What am I hearing, man?
A good start for DarkZero.
A bit silly from Secret.
A little bit. I think it was just... I think the aggression that they'd been trying to play with on defense, I think they've maybe tried to apply the same technique, the same tactic, the same thought process.
I mean, there's 3 of you coming in through the same single window, right?
We're just going to try and get up in DarkZero's faces, and we're going to try and rush them, and we're going to try and, you know, make them... And the problem for DarkZero is I don't feel like it's been speed of thought. It's not been about thinking on their feet. It's not been about reacting. It's just been about not moving quickly enough. So I think, yeah, just because you run into their faces, it doesn't mean all of a sudden they're going to crumble.
But the thing is, Tim, that wasn't even the site as well, right? That was the other side of the map, which is weird. It's almost like DarkZero, to be fair to them, probably have done a good bit of study on how Team Secret attack this map and realise, all right, that's their main point of ingress. It's where they like to start. Let's post 3 players around here and wait for the crossfires. And they played it beautifully. I'll give it to them 100%. A really good read and shut down Secret before they could even get started. Now that we go over towards Exhibition being our actual site, though, let's see how things fare on the other side of the map, as I imagine Secret will start inside of Geisha and work their way across. That's exactly why you've got DarkZero setting up a bunch of reinforcements and utility.
Yeah, they're going to be ready for that push in once again, I would imagine. I think Secret will probably take the foot off the gas a little bit this time. You know, it was almost like they were trying to prove a point. You know, you've played slowly, it hasn't worked. We're going to play as quick as we can and show you that it does. But unfortunately for them, it didn't. And they're going to have to find the happy average in between that gets the job done for them. Sleben's going to take out that default cam, look for a push to potentially head into a restaurant and up the black stairs and then through tea and karaoke. The drones are in ahead of him this time, and they might just catch out Pamba on black stairs there. Is it going to be Pamba party time, or is he going to get caught out and dealt with?
It's a beautiful thing about the Solus, as well as even the safety things that have been deployed out are going to get taken away, and Savage will just go and replace it here. So back down it goes. Still, opening kill comes in the form of being taken onto Pamba. That Wamai taken off the board by Sleben. Himself with a couple of claymores in back pocket. Clearly wants to put one here at the top of top black. In absence of having something like a Nomad on side, they do help serve as these flank watch gadgets for your potential runouts. It looks like they're trying to protect the backside and make sure there's no nasty surprises coming out of DarkZero.
Groovy just trying to get something going on the vertical up through the hatch. It's going to be Astro, though, that manages to find Gaveni, and that leaves us now in a 5 versus 3. Team Secret, as I said, a slightly more metered, measured approach. They've not gone flying, 3 of them in through a window, and oh, look, you're doing better in the round. Canadian tries to move up the black stairs. Not a chance.
So you say.
Actually gets away with a kill there, but ultimately it's a failure of a flank, I think. NJR manages to get the kill onto Kendrew, but it's 3 versus 2, and Team Secret have got time. 1 minute 20. They are getting things done quicker in the round here than DarkZero were able to.
do need to get hold of the diffuser, though. I think that went down in Kendrew's hands, so it needs to be recovered before they make this push forward. Just in case there was anyone trying to be too cheeky, and sure enough, there's Groovy picking it back up and working his way up towards Dragon, where NJR awaits. They've also got a push coming in through Terrace here. So working their way in through both north and south. I'm just really nervous that Groovy gets taken down here in the 1v1 against NJR, separated from the team, and they have to re-scramble through unknown ground. In fact, he's abandoned that. Good train of thought, I think. Not trying to push in solo through Dragon. If he dies there, the round's basically done. Has rejoined his team, and they're looking to stack up for a 3v1.
Trying to get the Selma charge active on that wall, but it's going to be blocked out for the time being. That's dealt with reasonably quickly, though, and we see and hear that breach getting opened up. 28 seconds left to go, and DarkZero might just find themselves holding on. Beautifully done. Love the teamwork. Astro there, ready for the headshot onto NJR, and that leaves it all up to Skies, but out comes the shotgun. He gets one. Can he find another? Absolutely not. Groovy there, ready for the trade, and that's going to be Team Secret taking the round and leveling things up.
It's a lamp.
Eat up, dog. Eat up. Welcome to the next round. Next round.
I love the impact that Twister's having on this team as well. And it's not just like players in the team that have said this, but others are just saying from afar, you can see how he's helping transform Secret into something quite special, because it's been a rough, probably, I don't know, 18 months, 2 years for this Team Secret side, going through various players, various different iterations, always scraping the barrel at the bottom of the EUL standings. And again, they're a team that many would write off, coming in from qualifiers, coming in as the 7th EU team for all intents and purposes. Even some of the boys I spoke to were saying, look, for us to even be here itself is a blessing. Kendra was saying, it's just good to be back at SI again after all this time. They weren't having any grand visions of making finals or anything, but at least from what we're seeing, they are putting on a good show, and I'm quite curious to see how far they can go in the competition as a result.
So, for any of our particularly maybe EU fans watching who aren't, fully familiar with Twister, he was a coach of Furia previously, and I think I know Twister reasonably well. I've been interviewing him since 2020. We chat outside of the game sometimes as well, and the two big things that stand out for me for Twister is vision and belief. He's very good at setting a goal, a path, and seeing the method to get there, but also the belief that it can be done as well. And as a very brief example of that, back in 2020 when he was with Furia, when he began there, I watched the stage 2 and 3 at the end of the year in 2020. Furia, I think, won 1 or 2 matches in that entire 2 stages. They were bottom, they were in relegations, they were going nowhere, and Twister said at the time, we're gonna win Invitational one day, and this is how we're gonna do it. And they didn't win Invitational, but it was a hell of a turnaround that they got there and got to major after major. So yeah, Twister, he's absolutely that sort of person to take on that project.
Some coaches are the real deal, then some of them are frauds, like Fabian. Here we go with Astro charging in on the Ana, looking to see what he can find, but it's Sleb and jumping straight into a frost map. Thankfully recoverable, but we will be without a good chunk of his HP.
DarkZero happy to just hold their angles for the time being. 1 in drum, 1 in shrine, just waiting for this push to continue across. Astro knows that, and he's going to just be peeking out ahead of him there. Thinks about the nade. He knows he's going to have to use it to clear out that Kiba barricade that Gaveni is playing behind. And there we go. It just gets replaced. Azami, such an oppressive defender at times. Look at the utility soak.
Can be absolutely horrific, because the thing is you have to keep on rotating through this soak as well. That's the most annoying part. It's not like, okay, we got rid of one, oh, another one's there. We get rid of that one, oh, another one's there. Rinse and repeat until your pockets are basically empty. It's why she gets banned away so often, not just here at SI, but throughout stage play over the last few months too. Now at this point, Secret are still looking to get their way downstairs. They've got 70 seconds to work with here. Some control of the hatch starting to be established, but still yet to really pull together a solid plan to make this work.
A lot of face checking going on from Secret of the top floor there. Kendrew, as you saw, just checking through into Karaoke. Only 3 drones remaining, which we would expect to be due to Canadian on the Solis, and it certainly is starving Secret of information at the minute. Skies has got Nitro in hand. It's a Nitro and a Dream. He's not got many HP left for if the challenge does come through the skylight. Is he going to have the Nitro ready to go? No, he's not. The hatch is going to be opened. He drops himself away, but he just needs to be careful. He's keeping himself very tightly under cover there. NJR manages to find Savage. 5 versus 4.
Still Groovy working his way down the back stairs here as well. Oh, Kendrew gets there before him, but surprise! stairs. Gaveni was waiting at the wall, ready to pop him out if he dropped through. One more comes in through the hatch, and Gaveni not quite sure exactly which way he's going to get pushed from, but him and NGR are doing all the work. 3 kills, making a 4th from Bamba. It's Kendrew all by himself, will not be able to do anything at the end of round 9. DarkZero get one more on the board.
Well, we've got a close game. It's 5-4 now. Team Secret just managing to keep a hold of that slim advantage that they've got, but DarkZero certainly looking a little bit better for the rounds that they are winning than the ones that they took on attack. And as I said, just removing that time restriction, that time factor, it now plays into their favour, if anything, I think has been a little bit of a helping hand for DarkZero. But it is worth reminding you that this is DarkZero's map choice. Top right of your screen, you'll see that the 3 maps that we could potentially play are Skyscraper now. We will see Bank, which was Team Secret's choice, and then the decider is Theme Park, which is basically the leftover map when the banning is all done. So DarkZero, they've got to turn this around, as you know, they can't, I think, be losing this. I'd be very worried for them going into Bank for the reasons we've already discussed. That's an interesting reinforcement. Usually we'd see a rotation to top black stairs through into Karaoke. That's been completely reinforced off. It is sometimes used against the defenders, so I can understand it quite, you know, there is the potential for pushing a Montagna, for example, in through those black stairs walls and trying to get the diffuser down next to the bomb chassis. So, you know, I get that, but we'll see whether it's, you know, it has any impact on the defenders themselves and
it will.
Restricts their movement.
It absolutely will. You're coming up black now is a lot easier. Coming in through Shrine Balcony is a lot easier. You can smoke off that corridor and get in pretty much for free with 0 contest coming in from the other side. It's one of those where normally you'd have like a smoke, for example, looking to work through that rotate from Karaoke up onto that black stairs balcony and looking to challenge stairs or even looking across towards Shrine Balk. So whether or not Secret looks to abuse that or not is going to be a very different conversation. For now, they're just looking to get themselves inside the building without losing 3 players like last time, Tim.
I mean, that would be an ideal start, to be fair. We're going to have Savage on the Ash, just looking to take out the Keeper barricade. Will be successful, and that opens a very long angle all the way through the top of the map. Pamba just holding his position. Don't get excited, it's just a Gemini clone, but it does give him an idea that the push is likely to be coming in from that exhibition office side.
They've all been baited by a Niana.
Oh, repeatedly.
This one being a little bit more slow. It's the real one this time. It's Groovy with the gun looking in towards Pamba, but can't find his man before he dips back away behind the shield. But Secret now coming up against a little bit of friction here. Are going to have to try and force their way past DarkZero. Here comes the utility as well. Nades flying in over the top. DarkZero just adapting to fit. Got to be careful about this player outside Geisha as well, because the backstab is real.
Pamba's just going to be holding another tight angle here. He's having quite a good game so far, 9-6. Certainly been effective for his team. They're going to be hoping for a few more from him now. Astro just peppering across the top of the drum, not managing to connect with the head of the defender behind it. And Secret just need to make sure they're not going to fall foul of time themselves. They are starting to work in towards site now. Nade going out. Pamba very aggressive on the door there, just waiting for any attacker to expose themselves on the balcony.
Still, shot coming in from Kendrew to find Gaveni, who's taken out as well, the first kill in the round. And now Secret's march begins. They move their way forward, not aware that they've still got NGR sat in just behind the drum. Those Keeper barriers coming into force once again, but 2 kills come in for Secret before 1 gets traded back. It's a 3v2, and surely with 45 seconds left, Secret can clean up.
Canadian's moving up the back stairs, but he's going to be shut down by Sleben. 3 versus 1, it's all up to NGR. I believe he's going to have to hit an ace here, Des. That's 3 kills for him in the round so far. Diffuser going down will be successful, and that leaves us now a 1v3 that's come down to a 1v2. And NJR, he could be on for something special, but if he is, he's going to have to start finding kills. He sneaks his way in through Geisha. He's looking for the first man. He's hard right, NJR, but he doesn't know. Information is limited for him. Obviously nothing to tell him inside a sight. He sees one at range, but not! Savage stood on top of the diffuser, and Team Secret take themselves onto map point.
A little bit of co-play coming in there at the end as well on the crossfire. Beautiful stuff to tuck in so tight to that corner. 6-4. Secret in a spot to take away this map from DarkZero. And Tim, we both said coming into Bank, it feels like trouble. DarkZero timeout coming in.
Just give me 10 seconds, guys. You guys are doing a great job. Stick to that. This is the most important thing, okay? Most important thing. The other thing is that they know that they're struggling to hold our full tanks, and they are giving us a lot of kills. So what they will do right now is just pick 1 or 2 drones and try to fall back. So how do we counter that? We just face that we are taking the site and taking the piece, and we don't need everyone to take the map because they are giving to us. So let's just take the map with 2 persons, Kenny and Astro, and all the other 3 try to play on site to get the gaps that they will give to us. That way, or either rush site, you guys can do this. You guys have the space, just be confident.
I think we'll switch bomb site. Can we just check that it's the right bomb site? Basically,
Cover to Ivy.
I'm literally gonna hide, so can somebody...
So it's just a default?
Yeah.
All right. Nice little motivational speech from Even Twister. I feel a bit more roused by that, Tim.
Are you ready to go?
I'm ready to cast now. Let's go.
I think I'm absolutely loving, being able to listen into those because it gives us, that insight to watch for. Us and everybody at home can sit there now. And what Twister was saying there is, we don't need to play in to the DarkZero extensions. They're giving us the size. We've got the opportunity to actually just get in there quickly and think about getting a diffuser down. Let's send 1 or 2 into the map to play with the roamers a little bit and keep them occupied, but let's hit site and, we can watch and see how that plays out.
Yeah, 1 or 2 drones coming in. I mean, they're already finding 1 or 2 being picked out in the droning phase. Not ideal. 2 gone already off the board for the side of Secret. Make it 3.
And that's without a Solace.
I mean, 1, I'm okay with. 2, I'm disappointed. 3, I just feel let down. To be fair, it was it's a little bit of a bug. Only 2 went down. There's still 8 on the table, so therefore I'm a little bit disappointed. Only a little bit, though.
Anger comes first, doesn't it?
What are the 5 stages?
Well, it always did. For me, I think the famous one, the joke, isn't it? And it was always the same with my parents. You didn't. If they were angry, they were angry.
You didn't. You're about to reveal some real deep trauma here about your childhood.
If they were angry, that was one thing, but you didn't want them to be disappointed. If they hit you with that line, I'm not angry, I'm just disappointed. That was so much worse.
A bomb has been located.
Just disappointing people, it hurts.
So at the point where they lose 2 drones, maybe that's like, I'm a bit angry you've lost 2 drones. But then when it's 3, look, I'm not angry anymore, I'm disappointed.
I just know that you're capable of so much more. That grenade tickling NJR's feet there. Lost a couple of toes in the explosion as well. Sky's also taking a bit. Canadian also getting a bit of chip. Everyone gets chip and dip going rolling around from the floor downstairs. Secret now they have to start getting guns up and looking to do a bit of damage at the players on site itself. Smoke's coming out as well, bearing in mind we're just inside 60 seconds here. Canadian strikes first and brings down Groovy. Wamai's starting to get to work as well. Those magnets catching out a couple of nades. The Skies finds another. Game plan not working out for Secret, it feels, Tim, as they are being slaughtered.
Not at all. The push directly into sight, just really not paying dividends. We're going to see kill after kill and only 1 of them for Secret at that point. It's finished off 3v1 at the end, and that is going to be the round for DarkZero. They stood up well, and you just feel like maybe Secret didn't need to change tack there. If it had been going so well for them going through the map and, to feel like, oh, actually, we don't need to play into that. Let's just get onto site. Maybe that change wasn't really necessary.
I just hate the pushes in through the display window. It's a death box. It's coffin. It's called coffin by some people, for God's sake, for that exact reason. You toss any kind of explosive in there. Normally there's a barbed wire in there as well. There's potentially 3 or 4 different crossfires you can get. It's just a really horrible way to push in. And I know they tried to force 2 or 3 players into force the issue. But DarkZero had a response ready-made, and that's twice now. They have deleted Secret when they've come pushing in through display. Last sight of regulation will be down here in Barbecue and Kitchen. We've got those frost mats on side once again, alongside the cap cans that we love to see. And I'm not at all surprised to see the Azami back on side. It's been really valuable throughout this game for both sides to some degree, but I feel DarkZero have made some really good use of it.
Here we go then, into what could be our final round, or it could be the signal of 3 more. It's going to be Kitchen and Barbecue for DarkZero trying to hold on. The question is, the Team Secret go for that site, that director site attitude again, or do they go back to going through and trying to find the kills around the map and just applying a bit of manpower out there through each room to clear it out?
This is the power of Solus as well. 4 drones gone before the round has barely started. Just having those pinged out and fed back over to the other side is what to the teammates to help take them down. It's pretty scary. Either way, Secret have got to try and do their best with what they've got here. Of course, with the Twitch on side, you do basically have 4 drones, 2 of those Twitch drones and 2 of the normal drones. That's a hell of a lot of information. It's not all surprised to see, despite the F2 nerf coming in, that she is still a very popular pick.
Oh, 100%. I mean, interestingly on Solis as well, obviously it's one of those things that can be difficult to sort of quantify, but there we can do it directly. We said coming into the start of round 11 that they had 8 drones remaining. Coming into the start of this one, they had 6 drones remaining. So the effectiveness of being able to take out those drones is basically doubled by having Solis on side. NJR going to take some damage there. Gavani just relocating, waiting for that push to come in. Surely not the window again, Des. I worry for your hairline if they come in through this window again.
I'd worry about yours, but there's nothing left to worry for at this point.
I'll be honest, that ship has sailed, Des. That worrying's been done.
I'm a good 10 years too late to that party, good friend. Either way, rotating away they come, looking to try and push instead in towards the Shrine side of things. So not Shrine, sorry, in towards Terrace. That's the word I was looking for. Pushing in towards Terrace rather than trying to push in through that display door, and it is forcing DarkZero back, to be fair, to Secret as well. The calls of that decay be ringing out through the map, and that's a wonderful reverse shot from Pamba.
Fantastic stuff, taking Savage down and just giving DarkZero a little bit of an advantage, trying to get themselves into overtime, trying to do anything they can to cling onto their own map, as you say. Kendrew just taking the risk of going for that repeat, but Savage, Pamba is long gone at this point.
Yeah.
Savage is long gone as well, to be fair.
They are slowing down a little bit here, which is probably the concern. I say that as they get one back, instantly traded out elsewhere. NJR looking on fire at the minute, 13-9 in the game. Still 1 kill behind Groovy, but the two of them really putting on a bit of a show.
Yeah, he's played very well so far. He's been a big part of keeping DarkZero in this group. He's moving across, just needs to be careful of his left-hand side, but there's one behind the bomb chassis as well that could potentially mount a challenge now then. Sleben, I don't think he's aware of Gavani. Absolutely not. It's completely free for Gavani, who steps out and decimates Sleben. They've no idea, Des. They've absolutely no idea where anybody is.
The beautiful thing is if DarkZero win this round, we go to overtime, they get to choose the starting side as it was their map pick. So you would then start to have a little bit more faith in the boys from the NAL to take this away. A great long shot coming in. NJR on fire.
A great finish to DarkZero's half there. They just got themselves back into it. They're trailing behind throughout, and they've shown some good character there to keep things fighting. You don't want to be going to overtime necessarily on your own map pick. It's certainly not setting you up for success, but nonetheless, sometimes that's just how the drone rolls, and you've got to go with it and get the wins where they come. Like you said, sometimes on the way to a title particularly, you've got to be able to win dirty.
You do. You've got to be able to win the games that look unwinnable at points, or pull back rounds from what feels like the brink of defeat. The big clutch ability is a thing that I think every champion has had. I don't know a single one that hasn't won a big tournament without having that ability to win dirty, as you say, Tim. Let's see how this plays out, though. DarkZero on defense to start with in overtime. As I said, they get that pick. They chose to start here. Secret have had a bad run of things the last 2 or 3 rounds, so I'm a little bit nervous about how they can recover this.
Canadian on the Solis once again. We've seen quite a bit of play time for him on Solis to see how he does with the drones. We'll see when we get into the round exactly what the counter is showing. At the minute, there's quite a few missing. We'll see how accurate. Yep, 6 on the board, so a fantastic job done by the Solis. As I say, effectively, it seems to be, anecdotally, probably about 100% more drones are taken out by the Solis. It tends to just from, you know
the exact maths on that, Tim?
No, exactly. I don't have the exact maths. That's the point. But yeah, from what we see, usually rather than losing 1 or 2, the Solis may well claim 3 to 4, and that is really doubling up. And that is a huge amount of information to lose, and that is a huge amount of life to lose at the beginning of the round. It's Pamba Zoo taking down Sleben to kick things off. Sleben, who has had his moments so far, but a little bit quiet overall, and maybe they could do with a little bit more from their Super Sleben.
Starting to feel a little bit desperate for Secret as well here, with no information being fed to them. They're having to just try their best and figure things out as they go. But DarkZero look ready. They look expecting. They're expecting to see Secret come pushing in through certain angles, and just always seem to have the idea ready. Yes, it's only a 5 versus 4 for DarkZero, but I just think the momentum of the last 2 rounds are going to keep on carrying them through this one as well.
As we've said countless times, Team Secret can be, quite an emotional team, and just being reeled back in like that, and you know, the having to adjust and having to react in those situations. Overtime wins, you know, may be difficult for them to come by. Savage is just going to be trying to pepper down into Dragon. Need to be careful that we don't have another team kill. NJR's going to beat him to it. He's going to take both of them down. Groovy and Savage. NJR's reign of terror continues.
Astro finds one back, but I feel the one is just simply not going to be enough to start a cascade here of 3 or 4 more rolling through. DarkZero pulling back here, knowing that even with 60 seconds on the clock, well, 70 to be fair, Astro is not going to be able to do this one all by himself. Going in blind, looking for whatever he can find on his charge through. It feels like a matter of time until he's picked off and this round is done.
The problem that comes next for DarkZero, assuming that this round is won, as it's almost certainly going to be, the problem that comes next for DarkZero is they're back onto the attack, Des. You know, yes, they can win this in round 15 with another defense, but they're going to have to solve that time problem again. And you're just concerned when you think about that. And, you know, will they be able to get that done? They would like, I'm sure, to win this just in 2, but they might have to go all the way to 15.
They're picking the fucking mayor!
I didn't see anyone that whole round. I was just listening to you guys talk, and I was stiff as hell.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Mayor McCheese.
Oh, I could listen to this all day. Still, that's probably not how I'd describe how that round made me feel, to be fair. But for DarkZero, I'm getting ready to tweet after this game, so I've already got one prepped about how oppressive that Solus has been. I think the last 3 rounds especially, the first couple was a little bit hit and miss, but the last 3 rounds especially, Secret just look frustrated. They're being forced into gunfights they simply aren't aware of, that they aren't prepared for, angles that they didn't even know existed, and they're having to blind peek every single corner. And it's when you see players stepping in through, say, a single doorway, and immediately they have to check 3 different angles. It only takes one of those to be held by a defender, and you are guaranteed dead. So Secret need to find an answer when we go into round 15. For now, at least, here on the defense in round 14, I do expect they'll have a bit of a better time of things.
It's going to be a bit of a, I won't say a bit of a gamble, but we saw Team Secret defend Master and Bathroom back in the first round. They were able to get it done. And DarkZero at the time, I said, didn't really look like they had too much of an idea of exactly, you know, what the plan was, how to attack it, because obviously it is a little bit of an uncommon sight. But Team Secret going to bring it back again and going to give it a rerun, see if they can manage to generate the same sort of magic. We didn't see it from them again after round 1. It was purely a one-time thing, so let's see whether DarkZero are a little bit more prepared for it this time.
Now, I clocked this earlier on. Astro missed this drone when it was sat inside of this plant area, but obviously for DarkZero, why would you change up when clearly it's continued to work the whole way through? For now, they should have eyes onto Astro and what he's doing, and they'll know exactly what the movement is around this area of the map, and there it is. You saw it just there a second ago. They know what's going on, which means DarkZero at least have some valuable information. No solos coming through on the defender side as well. Does mean DarkZero have got free reign with the drones. One thing I will commend them for, we saw this back in the first half as well. They were very good at making use of all these drones. Very rarely did we see any being taken off the board, despite most being out on the field.
That's going to be the wall open. The Kiba barricade goes over it immediately to allow Savage to keep trying to hold on to that position, that location. Team Secret really trying to keep that vertical presence above sight. They don't want to be giving it away. We're going to have DarkZero moving on to try and get the office wall open as well. That's going to follow pretty soon. Should be successful with the Thatcher EMP. Not too much of a problem. And that is going to see Team Secret needing to shift here, or they're going to commit to the fight. And right now, Sleben, he looks like he's digging his heels in.
I mean, what have we learned from the first half of this game, Tim? We don't want DarkZero to be able to execute. So for Secret, contesting them upstairs on the top floor, whether it's with utility or guns, is absolutely paramount. And it seems to be the same once again. Pamba looking to work his way in through house here as well. Sees a man just inside of front desk, so they know that he's there, which could mean a kill comes through. Gavetti finds one for himself on that march forwards. Astro is down, and it looks like things are starting to get sour for Secret.
They're going to have to pull something out of the bag here. That much is for sure. The Jaeger has gone by the wayside. 5 versus 4, 1 minute left to go. If DarkZero get the next kill, you feel like they get the round. That has been the key driver for them. Once they get man advantage and they have a little bit of time, they will happily push in and try to get that diffuser down. So for me, it's all about the next kill or two. Team Secret, they need to step up. They need to stand tall, Des, and they need to make sure that they're winning their gunfights, and that is a big one. Savage takes down Skyscraper. surprised as he tries to go into sight, but Pamba, he has an answer, managing to find Kendrew. 35 seconds left to go. Canadian steps in, shuts down Savage. Gaveni has grabbed the diffuser. He's putting it down, and it looks like this is going to be the end of Skyscraper. It's all down to Groovy. 1 versus 4 becomes 1 versus 3. He's working from above, but he's got his work cut out.
It simply can't work out here as well. They've got windows to play with. They're near the outside of the map. It's just looking too rough. They see him as well, and Gaveni hits it on the reverse. DarkZero take the first map.
That's a big comeback for DarkZero there. It wasn't easy at stages during that map, but they have managed to turn out an excellent victory. But they can't get carried away. That was their map choice, and they've got another one to win yet.
Momentum was so back and forth throughout the game as well. We spoke a lot about the solos coming out of DarkZero. Honestly, a massive impact. And Kendrew, a picture tells 1,000 words. The frustration there because they were on top for so long and they knew what they had to do. They just couldn't pull it off.
That makes me worry about Team Secret in map 2. That is what concerns me with this Team Secret team. They lose a tight map like that, and I feel like it carries forward into the next.
Well, if anyone can turn it around, it's going to be Twister. Can he get his boys back on side and ready for bank? Find out in a few minutes after this short break.
I'm Nicholas Mortensen, but you know me as Pingu. I'm a 2-time Rainbow Six Siege World Champion and former top Rainbow Six Siege player in Pro League. Welcome to my Siege Ranked Bootcamp. We're talking 20 seconds left on the clock, you got the diffuser in hand, what do? Play the way that you're comfortable with, because you have confidence when you're in this position. That is when you're gonna be at your very best. Good luck.
fourth map to get things underway, where Secret looked to be the team that was starting to run away with their opponent's map pick, but DarkZero, showing some masterful use of Solis, bullied Secret out of the last few rounds and pulled it back to win in overtime. Bank is the next match that awaits Stowe Tim. This one I think is really hard to call given how that just ended. I think if nothing else, a Solis ban is essential from Secret.
I would agree with you. I think, yeah, if anything on paper, I look at it and I think Bank probably does favour Secret with what we've just seen there. DarkZero struggling with time on attack, etc. We've already discussed it. Bank is not going to be an easy map for them to clear, for them to have time to execute on. But we've got to count in that mental factor as well that I said at the end there. Team Secret, they looked very beaten up by that result. You know, by another close overtime game, then losing it, it's slipping away. I think that, you know, at points there, they probably really felt that they had that map. And I think that could be tough for them to bounce back from.
The difference in cost there is stark between the two teams. The score wasn't all that different, but 50 to 57% for most of Secret, up to 71 plus for all of DarkZero, just making themselves known in more of those rounds, whether it was on the entry or on picking up kills all the way through. Their kill count quite significantly a way higher as well than Team Secret. Just goes to show how dominant that game turned out to be for DarkZero towards the end of things. Still some work to be done then for Secret. They are going into a much larger map where I think the Solis here could really shine if it's available, but I really expect Secret to take it off the board. It has just caused far too many issues for them.
I mean, you know, yes, I agree. It just, to me, I look across there and it just looks very low energy, Des. It looks like they're a bit drained. You know, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they'll come out and prove that. You know, I'm sure they're going to be up for the fight here. But, you know, how much of that is going to be worth a round or two for DarkZero? You know, where they get to a point whereby they get a couple of opening kills and all of a sudden Secret feel like another game is slipping away and it becomes a bit of an issue. So let's see how we go. Team Secret are going to start the banning for us. This isn't going to be the opportunity to ban the Solis yet. That's going to be the final ban if it comes in. I guarantee DarkZero aren't going to ban it.
No, absolutely. Quick pause here for a tech issue for Troy. Tech issue for Troy to be solved and sorted before we get underway with that map. Keen to see exactly how it goes, and if you want to hear what a tech issue sounds like, now's the time.
I don't think we'll pick up to anything too exciting through the...
Who is doing that noise?
That's like when you give somebody a clicky pen. You know that person in the office who's not allowed clicky pens?
And you envision yourself being that really cool person out of a film that grabs it and snaps it over their knee and stares menacingly at them.
There was always, in every office I've worked in, there's been a person who wasn't allowed a clicky pen. And they just had to have a lid on and off pen because they just couldn't be trusted with the clicking noise.
It's ADHD, mate. I mean, you know, like Alex, our friend, RR, who's there from the UK. Every meeting I go on with him at work, fiddling with something. Whether it's a Rubik's Cube, whether it's something he's been working on, he always has to be fiddling with something.
Hello, Troy.
I mean, I was going to, you know, as I've already commented on the energy of Team Secret, just looking, you know, a little bit limited. To be fair, DarkZero are pretty chilled as well. So, you know, there's maybe not too much to read into that. I think the first couple of rounds here are going to be very important for Team Secret, is what I will say. If Team Secret come out and lose the first couple of rounds on Bank, and DarkZero just get that little bit of momentum behind them, I think there could be big trouble.
In case you are wondering here, I think the boys are meant to stay pretty quiet during a tech issue. Can't have it as a big strategical discussion point, although the game was, of course, only just getting underway. Hopefully get things back moving soon. What do you think about the mouse and mouse mat combos that we can see here, Tim? What's your thinking? I really like the bright pink. I think it's a groovy.
Yeah, I mean, I know, you know, some people like to switch mice round a lot. I'm more of a consistency. I don't like change.
You sound like a right old man saying that. I don't like change.
I'm aware of that, but I won't back down from it.
All these gadgets and gizmos.
I'm really not a fan of change. So, you know, I like things to be exactly the same when we're traveling around with, you know, with the work that we do. I like my hotel to be sort of set up in a similar way.
I like the pink super light.
you know, I come in and I do everything the same way. So I haven't really changed my mouse around too much, or my mouse mat for that matter.
Would you rather have a plain mouse, like coloured mouse, or a plain coloured mouse mat? One of them's got to be kind of crazy. You can't really have both crazy because it looks like you're on drugs, but which one would you prefer to be the more colourful?
I think the mouse mat is better for like a design and
but most pros do go for a really nice, simple, like, you know, plain black mouse pad.
Yeah, mine is, to be fair. But yeah, I think if you're going to have either, I think the designs probably look better. Just because you've got a bit more space, haven't you? You know, it can look... Then again, I've seen some really cool mice as well that look really good.
I don't know if this is going to work, but production, can we get like some more camera shots on the mouse pads? Are we allowed to do that? Is this a thing? Because there's some red ones, there's some black ones, there's different mice. I know we got the pink view, that was quite cool. I want to see more of it. I want to know what else is going on. I can kind of get half a view, but kind of not at the same time. That's kind of one of the wilder requests I think I've ever made of production.
I'll tell you what we haven't had yet. And I'm not trying to...
Wow, there it is!
Oh, there we go.
That was nice. Oh, look at that. It's going nice. Oh, Troy, you're so boring. He's gone black and black.
It's like the thing is, from Troy, I see it as being like, you know, in football, sometimes you'll have, like, there's lots of different fancy boots, but then you'll have like a defender who just has plain black boots.
What's Kendrew got? I want to know what Kendrew's got.
I see it as being a bit like that. You know, the defender who's going to put big tackles in always has plain black boots.
Yeah.
And I see it as maybe a bit of that going on. You know, nothing too flash, just going in and getting the job done.
What's Pamba got? Come on. The suspense is killing me. I've got to know what they're using. Savage as well, I believe. I'm actually really terrible with faces and names. It's a problem.
Yeah, I'm not always the best. I'm very good with names in general.
Ooh,
very nice.
Who's that? Show us the mystery player. Reveal yourself.
Zero.
It's definitely a DarkZero player.
It's DarkZero, but I can't see him.
Ow!
No, we'll never know.
We're just not allowed.
We'll never know who had the beautiful silver mouse.
Oh, I like the black and the red though.
Yeah, that's quite cool from Skies.
Yeah, I'm a fan. See, I love this whole like name on the front of the jersey thing. I mean, I know what it looks like anyway. Oh, and he's got a whole mouse song. Oh, he's serious. He's got.
Interesting. Yeah, he's got the cord bungee to.
Yeah.
He's gone corded rather than wireless. You know, I'm always very wary of wireless because I worry about.
I don't like change.
I don't like change. As you know that.
Has your mouse still got a ball inside it as well?
Yeah, I have to take it out and clean the dust out occasionally. That's why my aim's so terrible. It's only got 2 buttons. It's grey.
It's great from all the years of use.
What's the old connection called? Was it a PS2?
Oh, the pink thing. Yeah, PS2 cable.
It's a PS2 connection. Yeah. Yeah, it's got one of them on it. I have to buy special motherboards that still have the connection.
For God's sake. I mean, I saw your PC when you hadn't cleaned it out for about 5 years. All the dust that was in there.
They're just rumours.
That's a problem. That's a problem, mate. You are an issue.
It's not a problem. It's been like that for years. It's got one fan that runs inside it. Everybody's cringing on my behalf at this one. It's got one fan that runs inside it. And the thing with me is, it's not caused me a problem. It's never caused an issue, so I just leave it be.
I like the red and the black.
It's very nice, is that? It's very clean.
I used to have a red and black room when I was younger. Because I really liked, my dad loves U2 the band, and they did an album at Vertigo on it, called Vertigo.
Yeah.
And that was a red and black sort of spiral design. I was like, that's a really cool look, I want that. And people had some choice comments about the room colours when they saw it. Like, it's kind of suggestive. I'm like, no, I'm a young 13-year-old lad, I just like red and black. And they were like, all right. It got repainted about 5 years later.
I bet it took some repainting to get over that black.
Oh, you're telling me it was a black ceiling as well.
As a homeowner and father.
Zen. Chilling. In my lane.
Power nap. Love it.
Moisturised. Flourishing. Praying for a team secret victory.
We still haven't seen who's got the beautiful silver mouse.
I want to say... it was someone towards the end.
Medics thinks it's Gaveni. Is that factual, Medics? Sorry, I'm just having a conversation with Medics now. He can't hear me. Is that factual, Medics, or is that your guess? That's who you think it is?
More
factual, but not 100%.
So not factual.
So not factual. Just what Medics thinks. Okay, that's fine. We'll keep an eye on it.
It's a really...
Oh, there's the mouse. So they're teasing us again. We need to look for which player's just got a full red mouse.
Yes. Skiveni. Love it. Love it. There we go. That's a way to make an appearance on the scene, isn't it?
Facts have been established.
Someone in chat said, who calls it a mouse mat? It's a mouse pad.
I think I've had this discussion before, and I think mouse mat is a very British thing.
Is it?
Yeah, I think the rest of the world is mouse pad. Oh, I think it might be a bit of a generational thing as well, because you're quite old now as well. You're getting, you know...
We're over 30, we're screwed.
Exactly. I think there's a bit of both. I think it's like the bigger ones that are out now and things are more known as mouse pads. You know, when we were growing up, and it was like what size were they? Like the 10 by 8, sort of, you know, a little bit smaller than 10 by 8. Sort of standard size. I think that was more your mouse mat kind of thing. So I think it might be a bit of a generational thing as well.
Medic said, what about a mouse mattress? I couldn't imagine putting my mouse on a mattress and hoping it worked. I mean, your arm would be really comfortable, but it's still stuck to try and flick on.
Yeah. I certainly wouldn't play like, you can't play a first-person shooter like that.
Come on, Troy. You're taking the piss now. It's nearly past the watershed. It's nearly 9 p.m.
We'll be all right. Don't you worry. We're going absolutely nowhere. We'll see this one through to the end.
Okay. This might take a bit longer, so we've been told we're going to throw to a break. You guys are done with hearing us talk about mouse pads. Back very soon. Look at that mouse. Ooh.
I'm Nicholas Morton, but you know me as Pingu. I'm a 2-time Rainbow Six Siege World Champion and former top Rainbow Six Siege player in Pro League. Welcome to my Siege Ranked Bootcamp. We're talking 20 seconds left on the clock, you got the diffuser in hand, what do? Play the way that you're comfortable with, because you have confidence when you're in this position. That is when you're gonna be at your very best. Good luck.
Again, ready to get going. Round of applause. Well done, Troy. You stop breaking your computer so we can actually play some Siege. Well done. We are basically ready to go. The boys are gassed up. I hope you guys are all ready as well, because Bank is getting underway. We're loading in. And reminder, this is Team Secret's map pick. DarkZero are up 1 map after an overtime victory on Skyscraper. I do feel like there's been a lot of overtimes today. Not just for us, but others in general.
Yeah, just feel in general. Obviously, we can't watch all the games because a lot of them happen whilst we are casting. But we certainly do watch the ones on our sort of off games, the ones that are going on. And yeah, there's definitely been quite a bit today so far. We've got the bans coming in. Just a reminder for everybody of where we're up to. Anybody who's joined since the first map, we are in a best of 3, of course. DarkZero versus Team Secret. DarkZero were behind for the majority of their map pick on Skyscraper. Skyscraper, but took it to overtime and were able to win 8-6. Team Secret, they looked a little beat up at the end of it, and I sort of voiced my concern for them coming into bank here. They need a good start, is what I would say. If DarkZero are able to pick up a couple of attacks to begin with, I feel like it could potentially get on top of them. Des really wants a
Okay, Secret lose. GG, 2-0. Nice, we get to go to bed early today.
For anybody wondering why Des feels like that, DarkZero showed us a fantastic use of Solis throughout Skyscraper. Canadian was using Solis a lot, and they just denied so much information. 4, sometimes 5 drones taken out in the prep phase. They were absolutely on it, and Team Secret really suffered of being starved of information. So it's going to be something that I expect we will likely see again. But that being said, Des, they may not have banned it because they're going to use it against DarkZero this time. Kendra bringing along the Solis.
Alrighty, first round is underway. And yes, I do really want to see this used by Secret well. If they're going to be looking to play it as well, they haven't chosen to ban it away. It needs to be used well. Pamba finding his own response, so with the IQ coming in on the other side along with the Jackal, does mean, like a few teams have realized, that you can punish a Solis who's trying to get very aggressive on trying to find these drones too early on. And generally, if a team can use an operator like Solis well, they know how to counter it well too.
Slebin on the Oryx, just taking out the hatch. Of course, the ability to climb up the hatches for Oryx. He's going to open those up, so he's ready to go, ready to move. And there is nothing restricting or impeding his progress when he chooses to do so. It is a bottom floor defense here, but we've got a lot of presence from Secret up on the top floor. 3 at the minute. Slebin, Kendrew, and Astro all upstairs. I think Slebin, no, he's in the elevator. I was going to say I thought he dropped away to lawn office maybe, but he hasn't. He's going to maintain his position for the time being, and this is going to be a job for DarkZero to clear this out. And this is Team Secret playing into exactly what they saw in that first map, which was a slow DarkZero who were punished when time was burnt out in the beginning of the round.
I'd love to know where that Mozzie Pest is coming out of Groovy, because clearly it's not in a very good space that they can just jump winter drones in through the window and get around it. Still, I'm looking more towards Kendrew at the minute. And to be fair, I will commend DarkZero. They didn't lose a single drone during the drone phase and only just lost one of their first ones. So doing a second one coming down as well. And another, and another. They're down to 6 all of a sudden. But before I started talking, they've done a really good job of keeping all these drones alive. Now, part of that you can put down to the fact that DarkZero do play incredibly slow. And there we go. Groovy's the first one taken off the board. It may be down to DarkZero playing quite slow, but they're also very mindful again of the Solis and how much work it can do.
There's the potential here for DarkZero to recognise that sight is very light and to just head their way in and try to bully them, and that's exactly what it looks like could be the possibility here. They have left the wall soft, but Gavaney will make short work of that. He's got the skeleton key in hand, so he can get that done, and this could be dangerous for Team Secret. The collapse needs to start happening. They need to get themselves into a position here to prevent this diffuser going down.
They do. Getting back to site normally is pretty... not quick on this map. It's not as quick as, say, Clubhouse on an SSG drone, but it's still doable in pretty good time. Kendrew feeding over a lot of information as well, just to let his team know exactly where the push is coming from, but surely he knows that they're on the downstairs and looking to work their way through. He's looking in for a bit of a backstab there. There's that flank drone that he was looking for, taken out and dips himself away. Might find himself in a spot of bother, though, as there is a player or two currently holding around the hatch. Here we go. Tries to charge through. Pamba finds one. A second on to gold as well. It's like the stars aligned for him. A 2K comes in, and DZ are in a 5v2.
Flawless movement from Pamba is the best way that I can put that. Absolutely beautiful. Just really opening things up for DarkZero here, who get in, get a plant down without a problem, and that is likely round done. 5 versus 3 Kendrew. He's trying to get himself back into sight. He's trying to start the process of this retake, but he's going to have NJR coming down behind him, but Pambazoo beats him to it. That is a 4K at least for Pambazoo. A flawless round for DarkZero. I'm just trying to think in my mind, did Pamba pick up that 5th? No, Gavaney got one.
I mean, for a team that are normally quiet, that was pretty noisy for DarkZero after round 1. I'm not going to say no to it.
Did Gavaney get the opener? Gavaney got the opener.
No, Pamba got the 2, didn't he?
No, Pamba got 4. Gaveni had already got one. He got the opener. My question was 4K or Ace, but no, Gaveni definitely.
Denied Pamba.
4 and 0.
What I love about it was the read on there. So, I mean, like you said as well, the site was empty, let's hit it.
Yeah.
But they didn't just plant shallow once they got the wall blown out by the Buck. They went deep and took control of the shield, for example, that was inside of sight. They set up crossfires as well to cover that site. There was just nothing really those last 2 members of Team Secret could have done. So really well managed there by DarkZero and very good at identifying the opportunity after dancing around that Solus for the entirety of the start.
Well, I feel like it was a smart decision probably during the play. You know, Skies was down there in server, and I think the play probably was to try and plant CCTV in the default spot. The skeleton key was used to open the wall up, the thermite charge was used to open the opposite wall that looks through towards Red Corridor. But as soon as Pamba drops and gets that kill into gold bars and he just goes running into site, the call then is, site's empty, everybody. So the last place that you really want to plant in that situation is default CCTV, because it's going to be the easiest for the retake to challenge onto. So like you said, the decision is then made, let's switch it up, Skies goes deep, you know, and we can use that defensive utility against them. So yeah, it was very nice. And honestly, I don't think this could have started worse with Team Secret. You know, a flawless round for DarkZero in the fashion that they did, because Team Secret were trying to use that, you know, that attitude that they had back on Skyscraper. Let's get out in the map, let's make it difficult, let's burn all their time. And DarkZero said, yeah, that's fine, we're not going to struggle for time because we're not going to play into it. So now Team Secret are left sort of feeling like, you know, that's not going to work. What's plan B?
100%. I'm liking here as well from the side of DarkZero to be bringing along the Decabi. It was so successful for them on the previous map, but dealing with the roamers of Secret, forcing them back towards site. Here it feels to be a pretty similar story. We have got a couple of players on the upstairs, but there is definitely more site presence this time around from Team Secret compared to round 1.
Just going to see the long-range health boost onto Kendrew there, but it's not going to matter as Skies is able to go in and get the kill. Astro does find Gaveni along the way, but Skies is going to be getting that diffuser down after the kill. He's going to have to step away from it. He's going to be taken away from it as Sleben manages to get a kill with a headshot. Astro doubling down as well, second in the round. Canadian manages to get a late trade onto Sleben. Groovy is seriously low health here, but otherwise it's a 2 versus 3, and with 1 minute 30 left to go, DarkZero not having any problem about speed in this map, Des.
You're hearing the call come out from Canadian there as well towards the end of the round. It feels like Ruby the one trying to do a little bit of work. NGR coming up against Astro here, and Astro's still got the ability to juice himself up a little bit, even to heal Groovy there, and there he goes, back up to full HP. Of course, that got changed recently to heal, I believe it's 200 HP it now heals, so it's not partial, but it is a full heal, so maybe explains why you're seeing a little more dot being brought along in these rounds.
And JR's just trying to work and use the time that's available to DarkZero here to get onto the flank. He's got a drone going ahead of him, obviously pinging out a bit of information there that there's a potential for a wall bang, but he's unable to find it, and you just feel like his presence has been announced now, and he's going to struggle to get any real value out of archives and tellers, I would have thought. He's going to hold the angle for the time being, try and cut off the rotates, but he doesn't really have the support of Canadian at the moment.
It's good places being held by Secret as well, looking for the crossfire onto the admin door, just in case NGR does look to come pushing in, and as that clock has run down for the last 60 seconds, I get the feeling he won't have much choice but to force his way through and try and find whatever gunfights he can. Canadian being swung, it's an easy close up for Astro. NJR, the last one left standing. They know exactly where he is, and this should be a pretty simple closeout in the next 15 seconds.
Manages to get one. He's on the hunt for more. I think Astro knows exactly where he was coming from. Not the quietest of operators, being a 1 speed, but that is going to be the round for Team Secret. And I think they desperately needed that, Des. As I said, you know, they needed a good win within the first couple of rounds to just steady themselves and get themselves into this one. You know, had another round or two gone DarkZero's way, I'd have been very concerned for Team Secret, but that is looking much better.
Twister have paid out, so just nearly broke Kendrew's finger, by the way. Because they hold their like fists out, like a fist bump, and it's just like, bam! Slaps the fist. Nearly broke his finger. Did you see that? Sabotage of his own team.
It's not.
Kendrew was saying, nearly broke my finger. I didn't even hear a sorry from Twister.
I'm sure he is sorry.
Despicable.
Round 3. We, this time, are going to be back down in the basement. Team Secret are going to give it another try. I'm interested to see if they are as widespread across the map as they were previously. That was definitely part of the problem. DarkZero have shown in both round 1 and 2 that they are willing to just go route 1, direct into site if given the opportunity. They are certainly not struggling the same problem that they had on Skyscraper, which was a problem of pace. That's not going to be the case here. So we're getting into the action phase. Kendrew is up on the top floor. He's supported by Sleben up there as well. Groovy's just going into open area, I think, so they are still reasonably well spread. There's nothing wrong with the open area presence, they just need to make sure that they don't overstay their welcome.
No, and I like, again, how it's a very similar lineup coming out of Secret. Got the Solus on side, plus the Mozzie for that information denial as best they can. But once again, DarkZero doing a great job of keeping every single drone alive, at least for now.
Pamba's going to try the long angle, doesn't really get any joy with it, neither does Gaveni. So the push may well come directly in, but I don't think they're too keen. Oh no, I was going to say I don't think they're too keen to get themselves in through this single window, but they are going to send the Gemini clone in through there. But I think the fact that Grooby shuts that straight down is going to tell them everything they need to know about whether they go that way. Grooby with a beautiful shot onto Pamba, but Gaveni goes in and gets a double, and sometimes it's worth sacrificing a life to take their eyes off the prize, and that's exactly what happened. Open area now in the control of DarkZero within the first minute, Des.
Off the back of Gaveni pushing his way into Kitchen as well, whilst all the focus was looking elsewhere. He's done a lot of damage. 3 players left alive, and this really is fantastic for DZ. You've got 2 minutes to play with. You've got control of the key part of the map to keep on working forwards. The only thing they've got to be mindful of, and this drone will help with that, is there is 1 player on the upstairs and there is 1 hanging around elevators. It's Kendrew and Sleben that can still do some damage, but again, if DZ can identify, actually there's 2 players off site here, they could just hit it and try and crush the 1 man that sat there in Savage.
DarkZero seem to be recognising that. They've gone down, they look to get a kill onto Savage, but he's going to hit a beautiful headshot in return onto Gaveni, leaving us now 3 versus 3, levelling up that man count. There is a hit point advantage, a slight one, towards DarkZero, but Secret have got themselves back downstairs, potentially in a position just to sort of settle in here, but NJR is going to use that ITA to open up the wall and give an opportunity potentially, if Skies comes down to join them, to get this diffuser down on the ground.
That's it, right? They've got no more dials. They put the can hack over these cams if they want to. It's exactly what he's going to go for here. Smoke still in the back pocket of NGR to play behind. They've got flashbangs, for example. There is still a lot of work they can do. My only concern is the longer they're taking, the more time they're giving Secret to read what attack is coming. And that exothermic going off is most definitely going to make it even easier.
Well, this is it. Solis, Kendrew and Savage are just playing in tandem here. So Kendrew's going to sit in gold bars. His gadget will tell him if the plant's going down, at which point Savage throws a Toxic Babe canister and prevents that happening. You know, that is a couple of them gone, though, and he's had to run deep. Now then, if they can prevent this final utility coming in, Sleben's going to damage them, though. Manages to shut it down from above, and DarkZero, they're going to have to react, but they've got such little time to be able to do so.
They've got to go far deeper than they've gone right now. They know that 1's on main stairs, 1's in gold bars, but they've got to win those fights. They find 1. Canadian's still looking around. He can't find his man. Gets taken down as well. The hatch comes through, but the trade player's there. Kendrew gets the close down.
What the fuck are they doing?
Really well timed between Kendrew and Sleben there for that final challenge. As NJR was thinking about getting a plant down, the challenge comes in at the same time, and there's just no way that they lose that.
No, I mean, really for me, knowing that you're in a numbers advantage position as the DarkZero, you're pulling together a much stronger attack than that. And Canadian was the one left kind of flailing, trying to figure out where Sleben was coming from. He expected him to come towards square, but he doubled back, sat in Janitor, played that long angle, and they just weren't respecting it, even with smokes in the back pocket of NJR. So DarkZero paying the price there a little bit, really could have done better with the numbers advantage they had.
We're going to have the mirror on board this time around. Kendrew going to be the one to bring it. Archives and Tellers will be the site of choice. Castle as well. So I would expect, or at least it looks like Team Secret are expecting a lobby-sided push and are preparing for it. And they're going to look to try and hold that off and prevent them opening that wall up. There's also going to be a top floor presence as well, which is pretty much standard. It's par for the course. Need to just prevent that vertical, because there's so much verticality into Archives and Tellers. You can basically take up the entirety of the ceiling above, apart from one small area.
Oh, Savage. Don't live up to your namesake, son. Let him go scot-free. DarkZero going to make it away without being caught out on a cheeky little spawn peek. So for now, retain all 5 alive as they put a lot of their focus, it looks like, to be on these windows on the upstairs. Very expected for this site. You want to make sure there's no one playing above. They can't deny you through the vertical holes. And DarkZero have come well armed to also threaten with the verticals themselves, with the breaching rounds coming through on 2 of their team members, as well as a sledge and a book. Some might even call that vertical overkill with the amount they've come armed to the teeth with, but they're still going to be able to find a way on site and make a plan happen, which I imagine will come in the form of Skies with those smokes in back pocket and diffuser in his hand.
Canadian's going to be on the windows to begin with, looking to begin the push with the top floor clearance. That's good quick progress there. Not something that we said an awful lot about DarkZero previously. NJR is going to shut down Grube. He's going well again, had a good game on Skyscraper 5-2 now, along with Pambazoo 5-2. They could just do with maybe a couple of chip-ins from elsewhere, might just help to get a couple of these rounds over the line. Now then, Savage right up against that double door. He wants to get aggressive here. He knows there's somebody out there. Needs to be careful though, because Canadian is on the windows.
3 of them on square, 1 on the Scarlet, 1 double door, 1 on window. He was walking into a death box there and really is quite fortunate to be walking away with his life. But DarkZero taking it nice and slow, didn't want to go charging their way forwards. I think they were somewhat impeded here, Gavini was, especially by the fact that there's a Mozzie Pest just inside of the room, so couldn't get his drone through. NGR though makes it a 2nd kill in the round. Tim flying so far on this.
He's had 2 from the rappel, Des. It's just a little bit too easy, but it just got a little bit harder for him as Slebber manages to take him down. Savage finding Canadian off the windows as well, so that is the rappel dealt with, and that is going to leave us now in a 3 versus 3. DarkZero just throwing away a little bit of an advantage that they had there, and Secret have been able to hold on to some of that top floor control as well.
I had someone message me and say during the tactical pause we should have ranked haircuts. I was like, I don't really think that Tim with any hair...
Let's be honest, I'm not the one to weigh in on that subject.
Let's weigh in on the absolute slaughter, though. DarkZero, 2 more kills coming out, taking that 3v3 down to a 3 versus 1. And Kendrew stares into the abyss here. No more waits for him. Is death from above, slaughter from the side. It's not feeling pretty. He takes a little bit of chip damage there. DarkZero have the idea as to where he is, and they've got 20 seconds to close him out. And there it is, through the hatch, ready and waiting. But yeah, somehow I don't think 2 30-plus-year-old blokes, one with no hair and one with a mop on his head, are really well placed for this.
We're not the ones. We're not those guys.
That's it. Okay.
I can even run through couch.
Yeah, that's what I would have you do. Yeah, that's what I would have you do.
They have the mirror on the kitchen wall, though.
That's fine. There was no one on it.
All right.
DarkZero able to win that one out and just sort of cementing exactly what they'd seen and how they can use that obviously in future rounds. It's going to be Staff and Open next up from Team Secret. We saw this back in round 2. It was a defensive win, so they're going to try to get that one done again. I feel like Team Secret need to be coming out of this defensive half with an advantage.
Yeah.
I'm not sure 3-3 is enough.
No, I think if they want a really good chance in the second half, I'm with you. They do need to come out in some advantageous form, if not at least, again, break even. But thinking about it, it's their map pick. Really, you should be coming out ahead. Still, we'll see how things play out from here. No IQ being swapped in on side for DarkZero. Well, there is a Valkyrie, of course, coming in here for Secret. So those black eyes could work a little bit of bother. We've seen there it is, last second from Pambazoo in the last 5 seconds brought in. They know that those Valkyrie cams can just cause a world of hurt and they are worth getting off the board.
Pamba's going to be heading straight towards the building to put that gadget to work, as you say, trying to find those Valkyrie cams amongst any other electronic utility that he can. Also potentially looking to deal with a Solus that isn't on the board this time around, but obviously it can be useful should that operator be brought along. Going to have a presence. Gruber is up on the top floor for the time being. Looks like he's largely on his own up there. Savage is going to be heading up there now. Big double from Kendrew, putting the Storm to work with a storm of headshots as he manages to find 2. And that's going to give Team Secret a hell of an advantage in round 5.
He picks as well. The Thatcher being taken off the board alongside the Ace. That's most of your hard breach gone, as well as your gadget denial. So really those mute jammers even more oppressive to think about. The ADS is still swinging in full force for NGR's nades to come through, but he cannot stop. Up to 7-3 on this map as he finds Kendra as well. Secret, I'm not saying a crumbling yet, Tim, but you're really starting to see those cracks turn into fissures.
Yes, exactly that. Certainly in this round, it's going to be difficult for them to come back from this one. They need a couple of kills, really. They could do with somebody to respond with a double of their own. NJR is working on those windows for the time being. Not going to have any joy just as of yet. He's going to take a chunk of damage, actually. And just everything that DarkZero seems to be trying at the minute, not really paying off. And Team Secret just happy to sit in position. There's been absolutely no pressure on Astro, for example, who's just sat in the middle of sight at the the minute. Gruby, he's going to find one onto Pamba, leaving NJR still on half health. It's 1.5 now on the side of DarkZero. Savage decides that's enough. Enough time has been wasted at the 2 minutes. I'm going to drop back down. No need to give my life up on this. NJR can come in. He can have his verticality because it's unlikely that he's going to be doing too much with it.
It's a bit of a kicker as well for DZ because I'm pretty sure Canadian and Gaveni died with 4 drones in back pocket, 2 apiece on each of those dead team members. Really not ideal. Only 2 now left available in the back pockets of NJR and Skies, so it actually would have been 3 in the back pockets of those dead players. Still one you'd rather have out in the field. Skies knocking very loudly on the door, and very clearly Secret were more than aware that he was there, ready to come pushing his way through.
Gruby just managing to get that one done and leaving us now in a 1 versus 4. It's looking pretty good for Secret, at least for this round. They're going to be holding on to Staff and open area once again, and that will be the final kill coming in, and we'll see that one closed out.
Good fucking shit, Gruby. Good fucking shit. Whoever got kills. Whoever got kills, good fucking shit.
He's going to break someone's fingers, I swear to God. He is proper slamming them. I'm all for motivation as a coach, but that might be too far. Imagine after each round.
The last thing you want to do is actually hurt somebody's hand. You know, they're trying to play with the mouse and keyboard.
Imagine if I started slapping the back of your head after each cash you did that was really good. I was like, yeah, good stuff, Tim.
Please don't do that.
It would hurt.
Because it's the sort of thing you'll say as a joke, and then you'll do as a joke, and then it'll stick, and you'll just start doing it every time.
Yeah, now you put that idea in my head by mentioning it, though.
Yeah,
well, it wasn't really a thought I had until you said it.
Going to be defending the downstairs this time around, Team Secret for their final defense. We're going to have the bulletproof camera put out in garage just to prevent any pushers coming in through there. Knock is banned, so they know that they are pretty safe if they can keep an eye on that camera. It's going to push the attackers to have to go elsewhere. Now, looking to attack this, DarkZero were successful in moving quickly previously. I'm not sure how much is being invested away from site this time. Kendrew previously played all the way up on the top floor, for example. Sleben's up there on the minute, but he just drops back down as I'm saying that. So I don't think that Team Secret are spreading themselves quite as thin this time.
Just the comp is filth. Like, bleh, bleh. Look at it. 2 shields, the KB, Jackal. The only thing that looks even normal on that comp is Iana. She's got nades for days to start throwing around anyway. I'm really curious to see if they can make this work. If they keep all 5 alive and even start sniffing and execute, I don't really see how Team Secret stop this.
No, I would agree with you. We're going to have Canadian pushing into server there. He's already got server control.
That's the theme for this round, by the way, Sick Noises. Sorry.
Wretched.
Look, it's like, what time is it now? It's 9:15. It's definitely these kind of hours. We're past the watershed.
Well, I mean, to us, really, we're still sort of, you know, a bit of jet lag.
So it's basically 2 a.m.
It's 2:15 in the morning to us.
At that point, I apologise for nothing I say on air.
NJR just going to be checking the drones for the time being, trying to guide others in. Canadian's going to be already bullying sight at this point, feeding information back in, just checking blue stairs. So he knows that they're pretty much clear on this side of the map. That's not too bad at all. Kendrew, however, is just sneaking around. He's looking to get himself onto the top of blue stairs, and if he does, there could be a double for him with Pamba pushing into server as well. But the really big kill for Kendrew would be coming down and taking Canadian out on the Monty.
For now, still slowly getting themselves set up. You can see one looking to push down through garage as well. But it's the Monty and the one man here that's sat inside the server. They've got to be really, really careful. Kendrew's managed to work his way down the bottom, and now Canadian is very basically tied in. There's one behind the server stack going to push their way forward. The shield goes down, but Pamba's the one to find a kill. Canadian's still up, and Pamba's waiting for the one more man to come round. It's a shotgun from Savage to the face as he finishes off those 2 members and basically shuts that attack down dead in its tracks.
Yep, well played from Team Secret there. Dealt with the Monty pretty well, but still in a 3 versus 3. Gaveni's trying to push his way in through garage. They know that the bulletproof camera is still down there at the bottom, so they're going to have to deal with that at some point. That's going to do the job for them. They can now move up and look to take that out. And they also will no doubt go all the way over to the wall and just shoot it down from the side. So they're going to take the cam out. No, can't quite get to it just as of yet. Just conscious. There we go. I don't think you can get through the bins. There we go. Just going to take the cam down, and that's established inside a garage. But 2 players inside a garage in a 3v3 rush. 30 seconds off to go. I'm not too sure about this one.
Yeah, I mean, DZ haven't really done even in 4v3s or 5v3s. Some cases have still collapsed in these closing moments. And I'm nervous about the fact we're going into the last 20 seconds. This is where things generally start going very wrong. They've left it a little bit too late, gone that little step too slow, and they've got to find these gunfights that simply aren't there. 2v1. Groovy finds one more, steps up for a second. It's all too easy. Gaveni left alive here, trying to find the last 2 players, but will not be able to find both. Almost gets one. Knows about a man a little bit further back. Going to try and make a plan happen here, but Secret will descend. They will get the round closed, and in fact, they went the wrong way.
Gaveni comes off the diffuser there, and I always... It's easy to say the same thing, right?
I mean, they even said save your KD, like, why?
There's absolutely no way that DarkZero or Gaveni win that round by coming off the diffuser, you know, by coming off the plant. That's all I can say. You know, it did look like Secret had gone the wrong way. You look.
They were going for the other side.
There was, I think, there was another player coming from elevator side,
and he was going down the corridor.
Yeah, so there was possibly an opportunity for Gaveni to complete that. And the thing is, if you complete it, you never know what's going to happen. You know, come off, get yourself ready to shoot straight away. Just stranger things have happened.
Even if it's 1 in 50 that you win, it's still
it's 1 in 50 sometimes. Exactly. You know, that's it. And so for me, there's no point letting go of the plant button. There's
not for a bit of KD and stats on CGG.
Not for the sake of KD. Just keep a hold of it. Get the diffuser down. If you get killed before that happens, fine. But you know 100% by letting go of it, you're losing the round. So you're just choosing to lose the round at that point.
That's it. You're surrendering it, you're throwing it away. But we move. Here we go onto the defensive side, and this was what I was excited to see. The difference in the Solus use and what the attainment is. Already, 2 drones gone for Team Secret, make that 3. And again, I know it feels like a real moot point just to keep on counting these things that are gone. It's not the end of the world, I know. But versus DarkZero had all 10 left alive. Secret are down to 6 inside 15 seconds.
We're going to have the speed rush coming in here. We've got Astro just trying to support Kendrew on the Monty to get inside a server, but NJR is there using smoke canisters inside the first 30 seconds. He's blown the Goyo canister. He's having to throw everything at this to keep them out.
And Pamba finds Groovy as well. That was up top. That's the problem again with being flanked and not having any idea exactly what's going on here. Secret have gone in blind, really tried to make the Monty work, but behind smokes, behind Vulcan canisters, Secret now have given DarkZero a lot of time to adapt.
They have. That's the positive here of NJR's play in Dirt Tunnel. That's going to be his final smoke canister, so he's going to have to start thinking about potentially getting back to site. We're going to have a nade going in there just to keep him away on the shotgun. He's low health now, but he is going to commit to this fully as the Monty starts to push in. He's not interested in Kendrew, and he's just looking around the back because he knows that it won't take much, Des. 1 pump, 2 and 3! No! Somehow Kendrew manages to hit him with the drop shot, and that is going to take NJR out, but not before the damage is done. What a play from NJR.
DarkZero have just completely shut this round out as well. I appreciate what Secret were going for. A little bit of a cheeky surprise in your first attack, hoping to catch them off guard, but DarkZero are used to their hijinks. Looking here, I think, to try and make a plant go down, but simply not going to have the opportunity, not when there is a Solus stood in gold bars. She is the new Pulse, feeding all this juicy information over about when the plant starts to go down.
Just going to have the drone work going on to at least try and see what's kind of going on ahead of them. But in a 2v4, one of those being a shield, this is certainly not going to be easy now. We can see further time being burnt away by the Goyo canisters. Kendra is thinking about potentially getting a plant here. When he turns his back like that, Monty, when Monty goes to plant, his shield goes onto his back and the bullets will be, you know, they will be blocked by that. So he's just thinking about it. But like you say, the hatch is just making it a little bit of a concern, but Sledden's up there. He's got a little bit of cover, and there's a potential here for this to go down.
There's a C4 on side and an impact as well. He should not be getting away with this any day of the week. And that's exactly, again, why you got the Solus here waiting to make that call, and Skies, all he's got to do is wait for the call like a good boy, then toss that C4 out towards the door, and Kendrew should be going down. He feels like he's found a spot, but he's burning up a little bit here as well. So it's just a matter of waiting for these last 15 seconds to elapse.
Certainly is. Kendrew's going to push all the way in deep, try to get himself next to the bomb chassis. He's got absolutely no choice but to try and go for this. He's going to switch to the pistol. Gaveni manages to get Slevo, and that's it. It was all too much at that point. Final kill comes in from Canadian, and that is going to be DarkZero taking a defensive round.
And with DarkZero, timeout after 1 round. Let's listen to what Secret have got to say in just a moment.
Nice round, Nick.
Thank you. Well, they did try to kick something out, but...
Yep, yeah. Expect that for the others.
They will try to force it to this place. Okay, they will try to force. They have a lot of resources on two sides. We cannot. We need to try to grab our kills from the room as we were doing into the last map. And the other thing is, if you guys want to do a rush or anything, don't worry about it. You guys can do. But if you guys see that it's going wrong, do not commit to that. Don't be afraid of changing this strat. Don't be afraid. Because the thing is, if we just trying to go a rush and have smoke and have everything, we cannot simply keep just going to that, guys. We're going to lose probably. So let's go, let's change, let's make it more fluid. Our game is not that stuck game of one thing. We are fluid. If we play our game, we just need this fucking shit, okay? Let's fucking go.
Yes, boss. Yes, boss. Come on, guys. Focus up. Focus up, boys.
Guys,
Let's full clear.
Interesting point from Twister there. You know, just saying, and you can't really fault him in what he's saying. Going in there, playing into a smoke with a shotgun on a tight angle. You've got 3 canisters coming out. You've got the Vulcan canister. You know, you've got so much stacked up there. It's almost, you know, DarkZero have set up for that potential sort of rush in through the tunnel. So maybe we don't play into it. Maybe, you know, we've got to go away and think of something else. And you know, you've got to say that he's got a point there.
All the right words being said, but we'll see exactly what impact that has as the rounds get underway. DarkZero just 1 shy of catching up to Team Secret, and the thing is, my only real commentary on what we just heard then from Twister is I know he was talking a lot about how to respond in a rush when it isn't going well. You know, Secret aren't going to rush every single round. It's just simply not the way to be playing the game. So I almost wonder if saying, you know, we've tried a rush, it didn't work out, boys. Let's go and try something different instead now. If that doesn't work out, that's when you have your tactical timeout. Because now if they mess up playing non-rush gameplay, there's no opportunity for Twister to get involved. So not 100% bought into the idea of using the tactical timeout just to comment on a rush, but we'll see what impact it has in the coming rounds.
Straight up onto the rooftop we go with Kendrew. He's going to call in the E1D scan as well. We also heard the advice given there of, you know, trying to clear out those roamers, get the kills as they did on Skyscraper. So we may be going to have Secret going back towards trying to pick up these roamers, such as Canadian. He's out there in archives and tellers at the minute in that sort of area, just looking to use those vault cams. Cheeky putting him on the floor, obviously, as you see straight away there, the Twitch drone looking towards the ceilings, usually for higher placements of things like Valkyrie cams, and it can be an interesting little move. You can get away with it by dumping them on the floor, maybe just out of that normal line of sight, and Canadian might just have all the information that he needs here. He sees the Twitch drone jumping around in front of him. The cam is just down to the bottom right of your screen, I think, underneath that drone, but it's not going to be able to see.
On the stairs, yeah.
Yeah, not going to be taking it out just yet.
Genius. Most will obviously chuck them skyward. That's where the players and the drones have been looking, but nothing to be found. And obviously not forgetting as well, you don't necessarily have to see with the black eye. It's also what you can hear alongside it as well. Canadian bringing down Sleb, and one more comes in, but it's a joint push at the same time. He'll be crying a little bit about the lack of cover there from Pamba that's given 2 kills over to Team Secret, but it's still a 3 versus 3. Make that a 3v2.
Another good round coming in from Secret at the minute then. They've listened to what Twister said. They've gone and they've started to take out those players away from sight where the opportunities are presented. Canadian is going to be looking for a vertical kill above him. He's dancing around, but the Nitro will be unsuccessful. It really did seem like it didn't even land on the ceiling. It seemed like maybe the throw was just a little bit off. Kendrew's going to start moving down the marble stairs, I think. They know that Canadian's playing in that sort of area, but they just can't quite get the answer to get a line onto him just yet.
Here we go, the site now being exposed and opened up. They've done the vertical work that they feel they had to do to get themselves moving forwards, but NJR really turning into the hero of this series. Finds 2, will he make it 3? He hits the deck. It's Canadian versus Astro with just 1 HP to Astro's name. A single bullet enough to get this one done. Moving himself upstairs, looking to play on the vertical it seems as well. If he has the right control, he can make this work, but NJR would have fed over that information. The drop comes through, Troy knows where he is, sprays through the soft wall, and they get the kill.
Astro there obviously just dropping into sight, trying to get that diffuser down. I think he probably thought...
I saw him with a coke can, but I didn't see him when you dropped. I shot him anyways, I don't miss, you know. No, that's...
I don't miss.
I don't miss.
Well, Troy, I'm pretty sure there's a certain moment on White Stairs, Oregon that we can all point back to.
I think, interestingly there, Astro dropping and going for the plant. I think maybe wasn't fully aware of Canadian's position. There was 30 seconds left on the clock. He had time. He also had a finger boost. He could also use the nanobots that just become available to him, so he could have recovered some health there as well, and maybe given himself an opportunity, you know, to go for a little bit of a fight with Canadian rather than dropping and going for the plant at that point. So, you know, it's difficult in those situations. You've got to do what you feel is right, and if you think the opportunity is there, maybe the comms, maybe the information was telling him, you know, that Canadian was elsewhere, or that they weren't 100% at least, and that there was an opportunity, but unfortunately for him, not the case. So that's going to level things up. DarkZero 4-4 now, and they're looking to push through. There's one map ahead, of course. If they can get this, then it is a full 4 points for them, and that will be huge for DarkZero in this group.
Absolutely massive, and you feel again that momentum kind of swing in DarkZero's favor quite heavily right now. That Solis, again, is doing just so much work for them. And I know maybe some teams might look on at this and just say, ah, well, you know, Secret didn't respond to it very well. They've already lost 4 drones again, by the way, not out on the field. But you'll be looking at this and saying, oh, we can deal with the Solis. I would honestly consider for a couple of teams that have been playing Solis really well. I'm pretty sure M&M was another team someone said that's used it really well. We haven't cast any M&M, wouldn't know too much. But I think you are going to have to start banning it against these teams that can utilize it well, because it's just proved to be an absolute terror throughout this entire series.
Slevin looking to move himself into main lobby. Probably the best operator to be doing it. They had Switch going in there previously, but this time the IQ should make it a little bit easier to spot out any of those Valkyrie cams that are there. Not Canadian on the Valk this time. He's moved back across the Solis. It's going to be Skies, and this lineup gets even more oppressive as we go. Solis and Valkyrie this time. Pamba just looking away at the wrong time. Going to take a few shots from behind and then shut down by Groovy, and that's going to give an opening kill advantage to Team Secret.
Re-peeking there a little bit, but oh my god.
Oh dear.
Oh, imagine, that would have been a clip and a half. Oh my goodness. The irony of bouncing a grenade off a computer monitor as well.
Changing megs.
Grube just going to be holding that long angle down into Archives from top square, seeing if he can catch anybody rotating inside of sight. Just looking at the attacker lineup, they need to be getting Savage in there on the book, of course. Kendrew just looking for some verticals, but it's going to be Canadian hitting Grube, and that gives them a big problem. Canadians opened up an angle into top skylight, and so they need to be very, very careful up there now.
Got to be careful about, I mean, Canadian himself has got to be careful where he's looking too. I mean, some vertical work being done, C4 going off in completely the wrong spot, sadly. And then thinking for a second, maybe they'd found Skies. Nope, he is out of dodge. He has moved himself away as the vertical starts to get opened up. Reminds me a lot of Kitchen on Coastline, forcing the defenders off site and forcing them to play a little bit of a retake here, or just holding things down more laterally. NJR, again, proving himself a demon. Up to 12 and 7. Gaveni joining him as well with a kill. Looks like Secret's attack may have just fallen apart.
I feel like DarkZero are really starting to pick up a bit of momentum here. Des, they're winning gunfight after gunfight, using some nasty angles to pick those kills up. And right now, Team Secret are going to be asking themselves exactly what it is that they need to do. You know, coming through, getting roamers isn't enough. Going straight to site isn't enough. And they've certainly going to have to change some things up. Astro on half health is going to be working his way down square skylight stairs. Maybe just trying to go route 1 into site. Go and have a look and see if he can pick up a kill or two and level up the numbers.
Absolutely. Flash is coming in, bouncing off that wall. Unfortunately, not quite going where required. They're going to have to make a raw drop work here. See, we're on the downstairs, but you drop straight into a line of undrone players inside of open office. It looks to be a shutout here for DarkZero. 3 rounds on the bounce. They'll move up to 5 and 4, and Secret are going to be reeling. See, the thing is, Tim, this is where I call a timeout.
Yes.
This is when things are now going from bad to worse, and Twister could do is stepping in, not after a rush has failed.
That's it. It's already done and gone. You know, like you say, when you're playing those rush plays, that maybe it's a little bit of a roll of the dice, and it's not too much of a surprise if it doesn't work out. But DarkZero, you feel like DarkZero as well have just they've got that smell of victory now, and I just feel like the mental edge for them is going to be quite significant versus Team Secret, who are sort of looking at the situation of sort of like, not this again. And that is going to be difficult for them to overlook. If DarkZero get one more, then I think they get the map.
What it will give is there have been some promising signs for Secret throughout the series though, right? I know like it's not yet over, we're talking as if it is. But Secret have shown some really good capabilities, just a few little rough areas around the edges that need to be tweaked and worked on. I have quite enjoyed seeing Kendrew and Groovy, I think it was, earlier out on their own doing a little bit of bother as well. Astro getting himself involved at points as well. But I just feel like DarkZero have now got a feel for them the longer this series has gone, whether on attack or defense, and bang, suddenly doesn't look as favorable towards Secret as maybe we thought we might see it.
Attackers are moving out to locate the
There's
bomb.
not. Canadian up on the top floor, just hunting those drones again. Already got 4. They are down to 6. It's something that we commented on last time around, the effectiveness of the Solis and DarkZero's use of her, and that certainly continues at this point. Team Secret likely to be starved of information again, and it's going to come back to that discussion that we had there. As you know, you expected a potential Solis ban to come in from Team Secret. They chose not to. They used it themselves. But when available, DarkZero just, absolutely, doing serious work with that operator again.
Again, 30 seconds in, 5 drones are gone. Again, I don't want to make it all about the drones because there's far more to just information in and around, but there's a reason why they're so valued by so many teams and that they'll only, look to lose even one, if that, during the droning phase. DarkZero, as an opposite end to that, have been really good at keeping them alive, but it's frustrating, Secret. You're seeing it in their gameplay, you're seeing it in their reactions. Again, it's not just the only thing that's causing it, but it's very clear it's having a big impact, and I would 100% be asking, why wasn't that Solis banned away? If I find Kendry later, I'll ask him.
Just going to drop back to site there, DarkZero. Just going to see Gaveni on the Goyo just dropping back in, and they have got numbers now. Team Secret have got control of the map, half of the round to go, and they can start thinking about building towards an execute. Astro is going to drop himself into open area. There's the confidence, there's the knowledge that they are nice and safe in what they are doing, but we're going to be playing this position again. It's one that we've seen Pulse play for years. You're standing there with the scanner and you feed the information of when they're coming down blue stairs, when they're in server, when they're going for plant. You can do the same thing with the Solis, except you can see those drones, and that's something that Pulse can't do.
Absolutely not. You have seen a bit of Pulse still this competition, even with Solis available, mind you. More, I think, because of the fact there's a C4 ready to toss skyward of your own accord, rather than having to rely on teammates for that. But, and of course, you can only see operators with the Pulse. You can't see it with the Solis, though sometimes gadgets do give it away as to where those players are. Secret now getting focused on a classic execute on this site here, opening up the bottom stairs wall and seeing what else they've got to burn through. One of those Vulcan canisters taken offline. But no doubt there'll be more to worry about as well. There'll be 1 or 2 more normally strapped around the site. I think we've seen 4 stacked up by some teams, the Russian teams especially, inside of EUL. You see another one burning off. I think that's the 3rd one that's now gone through. Kendry's in and trying to make a plan happen by the looks of it. A smoke coming through. They've got the long angle on this one as well. They might get away with it.
They certainly might. We're going to have Canadian feeding the information in. They know that the plant is happening, but nothing that they can do about it. As kill after kill rains in for Team Secret, it's all up to Pamba, shut down by Savage, and Team Secret are going to take the round and level things up 5-5. We're going to see a minimum of 12 rounds here on Bank, and it could be a second map, a second overtime, Des.
I think it was a really good bait by Secret there as well, and essentially what happened is they know there's a Solis playing in gold bars. They know full well that they're going to be screaming, plants going down, plants going down, plants going down. Every player on DZ turns towards that planter and tries to get rid of Kendry. What happens then? Secret drop 2 players in through the hatches and capitalize on the chaos. Everyone's attentions are elsewhere. They kill everyone off and win the round without really having to worry about the plant in the end. That was a diversion towards the actual goal. It was to get kills to win the round. Really well done by Secret. DZ calling a tactical break to have a conversation about how they can repair this.
If they are clearing, they're fucking slow. You're eating their drinks. Like, do not be afraid to bunker on this one as well. If we have to fall back. Last time we just literally ate them. Yep. And they just dropped half. Like, that was execute. They literally dropped into them.
Yeah. Definitely, we can definitely drop that. Drunk and just...
Very few words for a tactical break, Tim.
Yeah, not too much there. Like you say, pretty limited in scope in terms of maybe what's going to change coming out of that. Maybe a tactical break just to try and break the momentum a little bit and, prevent Secret getting anything rolling, really. DarkZero may already be reasonably confident that they, have already sort of course-corrected a little bit towards the end of that round, maybe. Discussions ongoing whilst Pamba was in the 1vx, potentially, and it's just about slowing Secret down.
Alrighty, let's see how things go then. At 5-5, we are guaranteed to see all 12 rounds in this game. I feel like really DarkZero are the ones who have to say whether it is going to be going through to overtime or if they can take it out here to a 6-5 and eventually a 7-5, as they have felt the more commanding force. I know there weren't too many words exchanged there just a second ago, but you get the sense that really they should be the ones walking away with a small advantage after a conversation like that. The only thing that makes me a little bit nervous for them is a very interesting lineup coming out of Team Secret here. We've got the Glaz and the Monty on side. Smokes galore, 4 of them coming out between the two teams. They'll be looking to try and not cheese their way through, but pull off a very execute-focused lineup here.
Going to be heading straight up towards the top floor by the looks of things. Astro just on the upside down rappel of the single window into open area as well. A bit of pressure onto Electrical. That wall's been opened very, very quickly. NJR, I think, just ready here for any potential aggression directly in towards site with the Monty. That's it, just get straight in. And that's exactly where the push comes. An essential kill from Astro on the way in, but Canadian manages to get one onto Sleben. And has that just slowed down the pace of this rush at all? Kendrew, he goes in, going to have an opportunity to get that diffuser down. He just needs to get behind the counter there. He can turn his back and look to plant, and that's exactly what he's going to do. And I don't feel like DarkZero have got any answer at the minute to this.
They don't. They really need an answer, though, is the issue, right? They're going to straight through the softball and find one. That's not bad, but 2 kills have already come in. Canadians left alone. You're trying to take down a Monty, my son. It's never going to happen. They have been caught with their pants down by Secret, who will find themselves the round. Up to 6 and 5 they go.
Canadian goes in and just gets that final kill, but will do no more.
Base it down, base it down. Let's go.
Bro. He went for his kill as well.
I didn't see this guy because he was fucking hard.
The tactical timeout not really doing too much for DarkZero in the grand scheme of things there. Team Secret able to take the next round. 6-5 puts them on map point. And that would take us all the way through to that theme park decider. But if Skyscraper was anything to go by, you just feel like this might have another twist in the tail just yet, Des.
Whew.
Attackers have located a bomb.
Do you feel Secret can do it? 7-5, theme park? Doesn't take us into theme park.
I don't know, it's a big ask, it's theme park. I think it plays more into DarkZero. There's less of a, it feels like there's probably less of a time concern on attack, and they've largely answered that question here on Bank as well. I don't know. It's a very difficult one to call. It will be a very close game.
Reinforced wall coming up again there as well. And I think, in case you're wondering why they open up that wall, it's so the Monty, if you're trying to push through, has not got to expose himself to the Archives wall. Otherwise, you're going in through a single doorway. You are out in the open to square to the windows and doorway coming out of Archives. That wall just gives you a direct, easy access in towards site, as wonderfully demonstrated by Medics. Thank you very much, good sir.
We have the attack mounting up from the front side of the building this time around. IQ, Groovy just going in there and pinging out, giving information on as much electronic gadgets as he can do. And he's probably going to pick up on at least 1 or 2 of those Valkyrie cameras you would expect. That's why they're being brought along, so you would at least hope so. Sky's up on the top floor. Particularly important position, really. Sky's needs to be holding off anybody, Pamber it is, who's actually going to get the kill onto the window. I was going to say needs to be holding off anybody on those rappels and stopping them get in. Pamber's had to go all the way on a big rotate down to basement, but this is quickly going in DarkZero's favour, Des. They've got themselves another with Gaveni finding a kill, and that's Savage, Sleben and Kendrew off the board as Skies does his job on the top floor, and it is all up to Astro and Groovy, and unlikely, I would say, that they turn this around. It certainly looks like we're going to be heading into those additional rounds.
Prep the line, Tim, because it's coming up in about 10 seconds. I feel Astro entirely by himself and knows that there is very little hope he has for saving this game. It feels like it's going to be wrapped up and we'll go into overtime, or saving the round more like going into overtime pretty much immediately after, with all 5 still alive on the DZ side here. It's a matter of time until he goes down, and then attention will turn to how things play out. The beautiful thing that Secret have got is it was their map pick. They choose which side they start on going into OT, so you give them a small lead.
Astro's just roaming around on the top floor at the minute, trying to find anybody. It's all he can do, really. It's a 1 versus 5. You've really just got to try and pick these up as 1v1s as and when you can. He sees a long angle there, takes a little pot shot through, a little bit of damage to Gaveni, but nothing to write home about. Astro is going to continue pushing from there, but nope, NJR has got him lined up, and NJR is having a fantastic game so far today. That continues, and he's going to put them into overtime, Des.
We'll go into overtime, Tim, for the 2nd time this series.
Indeed.
Imagine if we get to theme park and it goes all the way to 15.
We've still got that bingo card that needs ticking off. 3rd map overtime.
I don't know if we want it at this time of night, though.
It's very late for it.
I'm gonna keep.
You're
all right.
looking like you need a pillow, mate.
Nah, we'll be all right.
We'll manage. We always do. We start things off in staff room and open area. Interestingly, Secret choosing to go on the attacking side here on Bank as well. And for many, it is considered to be an attacking site, and Secret are going to be attacking into staff room and open area. A similar site to what we saw earlier on when we had the rush come out. Of course, just a moment ago, we saw that fall short. So, DarkZero rolling the dice and saying to Secret, okay, you cracked it once with a rush, but by the looks of it, you can't do it with a more normal lineup. Let's see what else you've got up your sleeve. How else might you surprise us on this site?
We get underway almost then. 15 seconds to go. Setup is continuing. We're going to have DarkZero with Pamba and Skies upstairs. Gaveni going to join as well. And again, no Solis, but Canadian on the Valkyrie. So information being gained from there at least. And the Solis being brought along most sort of popularly for downstairs, it seems, at the minute. But they certainly want those black eye cameras. Groovy just going to take out that window from distance. And we've got, again, a multifaceted approach here from Secret. They haven't generally been pushing in one singular direction. We've got them just sort of testing the waters all over the map at the minute.
Slowly working their way through. Once again, this Valk Cam don't fix what ain't broken. It's done so much work for them inside of the lobby. Why bother getting rid of it? No IQ. Sorry, IQ is now here. Last time round, we didn't see it brought along by Secret. But Groupie's got it on side, hopefully. Can they get his backside over towards lobby sometime soon, because it is giving all this information over to DZ, and they look ready. There we go. Now they've finally spotted out the camera and can remove it for free.
Sleben just going to be, again, working his way into main lobby, trying to get established inside of the map. They know where Canadian's going to be. Canadian has played Archives Tellers every single time with the Valkyrie, but it's going to be Pamba who gets found first. Sleben managing to pick him up. He's got in there quickly. Astro, as I said, likely to know where Canadian is playing. He steps up and manages to find Skies. There could be an opportunity to push onto the Valkyrie as well, and this has been a great start to Team Secret's overtime.
Beautiful stuff, 2 early kills. It does feel like these kind of rounds start as a small whimper and then really cascade into a landslide. Previous round was exactly the same story when we had Astro left in that 1 versus 5. It did start out with a couple of kills, slipping over their way, and then descending into more and more, and that's exactly what's happening for Secret. Just 2 more left for DarkZero, Gaveni and NJR. Probably 2 of the players that you would want left in a situation like this, NJR especially, but is it too tall in order to ask?
Just going to hold on to the rotation there, see if you can pick anybody up on the way through. This is in a 2 versus 5, much the same as I said last time around. You've just got to wait and see if you can just bait out a couple of opportunities. If you can get a couple of cheap kills, you then find yourself in a 2 versus 3, and you just can't overcommit to trying to find them. But it's unlikely at this point that Team Secret throw this away. I think they are going to work their way through. There's one that NJR needed, but that is not going to help, as Astro does a lot of damage there. NJR below half now and just back into sight to try and haul up. 40 seconds left to hold on is an awfully long time.
And against Astro, it's simply not going to happen. Straight through the skull of NJR. Gaveni the last one left standing, the new boy for DZ with some work to do. One inside Printer and finds him, but Kendrew gets the close. Secret move up to map point.
Well played, lads. Let's fucking go.
Let's go. Let's fucking go.
Secret able to...
Close this out.
Able to keep fighting in this one. As I said, coming into it a little bit concerned, even though it was their map pick, and they might struggle with the mental side of things, but showing pretty good resilience at the minute.
They're going to be the ones on defense down in the basement, not going for the open area in staff room like their counterparts on DZ. Looking to lock themselves in on the downstairs, and I'm glad to see the Solas coming out again. Part of me does kind of like, not so much lament DZ for not employing that in the last round, but when your team has done so much work with it, why you wouldn't try and find a site that can optimize and make use for that best is a little bit of a kicker. But Kendrew and the rest of Secret looking to make use of it in this round, alongside that Mozzie, which has been that kind of duplicate, or the duo, sorry, alongside the Solis now for most of this game, along with the information coming out of the bank. So a real nice triangle of operators there that all work really, really well together, either in hunting down drones or while doing just that, and in some cases using that information against the attackers as well.
10 seconds remaining.
Here we go then. It's going to be down to the basement for Team Secret to try and hold on. Looking at the lineup of DarkZero, they've got the Jackal, so they're going to be trying to track down those roamers potentially and get them killed out. Previously, they've been able to go largely directly to site. They haven't, had to go too far out into the map. They've just been able to manage the flanks, but it looks like this time they might be going for a bit more of a chase down.
Okie dokie. See what they can make do here with the roam hunting as well. I mean, the one thing I have probably clocked is that a couple of times we have seen Canadian and Kendrew almost caught out on that Solis. Out there hunting down the drones, looking to feed information back and forth. They have been tagged once or twice, and this is why Kendrew looking to get out of dodge a little bit here. Moving back towards the safety of the janitor's closet, near the hatch, ready to get back down to safety.
Savage drops himself down the blue stairs. Always fascinated to see how teams go about holding this area. You know, sometimes they will commit to those blue stairs and hold on to them long term. Sometimes they'll drop back into server. I think Savage was on his way back. Kendrew is going to get one kill and then he's going to fall back in towards site. And that's going to be enough for him. Taking down the Dokkaebi of Gavene is a big one. It's just going to prevent the cameras being hacked if they haven't already been done so. It's going to prevent those universal calls coming in and just disrupting everybody. And that's quite a big opening kill.
Takes off 3 of the flashes they had in back pocket as well. Not that you always need them, but it is useful in those dying moments to flash out any players holed up in a room. For example, shotguns that might be at the waiting, especially looking towards Savage with a statement like that. But Secret just holding up on site here outside of Sleben, now feeling pretty comfortable and ready to deal with whatever DarkZero might be throwing at them.
NJR heading down the marble stairs, just looking for anybody ahead of him. There is drones going there just to provide some information. It's still... Gonna say it was certainly still doable for DarkZero, and then I saw what was unfolding before us, and Sleben did as well, just waiting there for the headshot. Took a lot of damage, and you could say maybe that NJR was a little bit unfortunate there not to find at least the trade, but unfortunately that's just how it goes sometimes. Sleben, he's gonna live to fight another day. We'll likely stay inside of sight now, and the 3 versus 5, DarkZero I think are gonna struggle with this attack.
Does feel it, in which case Theme Park awaits potentially a third map with a third overtime. I'll take it, Tim. It'll be our longest series so far of the competition if we keep on going at this pace. Smoke grenades being burnt out here, and DarkZero trying to piecemeal together an attack to see what can possibly work. More of those breaching rounds coming out as well, or breach charges, sorry, coming through as the Incandelas start to rain, but it feels a little bit mistimed. In fact, no, it's a lie, because Canadian is in trying to make this stick, but he's inhaling in the gas. Tries to push in deep here to see what he can find. Feels like he's found a safe spot, but he's going to tuck him right next to the soft wall. Skies, crucial on this angle, will find one, drops down and goes for a second, can't quite find it. Pamper's left against 3, he cannot do it. Secret send us through to Theme Park.
We're going all the way to 3 maps there, and Secret holding on to their own map. Both teams requiring overtime to do so. It's been a perfect mirror, 8-6, 8-6, holding on to their own maps. Theme Park will follow, and really, honestly, it's absolutely anybody's at the minute. This is a very close matchup.
It's hard to call. I really thought after that first map fell away from Secret, we would see ourselves done in 2, but DarkZero hold on, winning each other's map picks. Who wins Theme Park is still yet to be anyone's guess, but we will find out in just a few minutes, so don't go anywhere.
I'm Nicholas Morton, but you know me as Pingu. I'm a 2-time Rainbow Six Siege World Champion and former top Rainbow Six Siege player in Pro League. Welcome to my Siege Ranked Bootcamp. We're talking 20 seconds left on the clock, you got the diffuser in hand, what do you do? Play the way that you're comfortable with, because you have confidence when you're in this position, that is when you're gonna be at your very best. Good luck.
Welcome back to the last game here on B-Stream, and I'm pretty sure of the entire day of the Six Invitational 2023 Day 3 here in the group stage. Secret versus DarkZero. We have been on a real roller coaster ride throughout this series. Momentum swings back and forth, but ultimately Secret managed to pull it out the bag there in overtime. Both of our previous 2 maps have gone to overtime, which means Theme Park really, Tim, is destined to only go one way, I'm sure.
I don't want to start talking about that word just yet. There's a lot of rounds to be played, but there has been very little to separate these 2 teams. They've both had the moments, they've both had the mistakes, but ultimately we found ourselves at 1 map apiece. We've got the map summary there for Bank. Groupie going big for Team Secret, 14-8, pretty good going. An improvement in cost on the side of Team Secret versus Skyscraper, and a bit less consistency on the side of DarkZero.
Whew. Here it comes. I mean, Groupie once again back towards the top of the kill board he was last time round as well. Real good performance coming out of him across the series so far, putting up the big numbers. But going into this, it's always worth mentioning where teams start. I'm going to double check before I say it out loud, because I'm pretty sure I'm going to get it wrong if I say it. But what I saw was that we have Secret starting on defense, I believe it was. I want to check, but I can't remember why the hell someone messaged it to me.
You have a little check.
I'm gonna dig.
Theme Park, I think, as I said in the last, I feel like we might get a slightly better performance out of DarkZero just based on what we've seen for them tonight. You know, I'm not talking about necessarily the historic performances on the map or anything like that, but I just feel like
I don't know where it is.
Need a little bit less time on the attack sometimes of Theme Park. Generally, there's an access point a lot closer to sites. There's a lot less roaming to clear, not as much verticality to be played by the defense. Usually they're going to be playing much more around site, and I just feel like that might lean into DarkZero a little bit. Are we going to get this time the Soulless ban?
I mean, it's been a constant question throughout the whole thing so far, is the best way that I can look at it. So maybe, I mean, I'm hoping so, being realistic. It's been a bit of a backstabber for Team Secret. DarkZero making excellent use of it.
Going to be Dokkaebi as the second attacker. Knock and Dokkaebi going to be taken out. Here comes the most likely opportunity for Soulless to be banned out. It is not going to be. It's going to be Mirror instead. I can't see DarkZero doing it because they've just benefited so greatly from the use of that operator. And Theme Park is probably less impactful for Soulless on the basis that there's not too much opportunity for vertical denial of plants. Keeping her underneath and out of the way would be difficult. And then also there's limited destructibility vertically to be able to open up those holes. It's still very valuable. We see Canadian immediately locking it in, if only to deny the plants and to make life difficult there. And there's always the possibility of feeding that information in at least about where a plant is going down.
Alrighty, so it was Team Secret on defense in OT. Sorry, so DarkZero start on the defense here, as you guys are now, I'm sure, more than aware. And Canadian, shock horror, dives straight on the Soulless pick. And we're starting with a storage defense, Tim. Not really one of the go-to common sites as a first pick for sure. A couple of teams have tried to make use of this on defense. They've spread across the entire of the map, even reinforcing walls inside of Armory and Throne to really try and extend out into the map. But this is what I love about Theme Park, because it does just feel quite ironically like one massive playground that you can play almost anywhere and still not be all that far away from sight. It is like a gigantic cafe. It's just really, really spread quite far wide.
5 seconds left before insertion.
Here we go then. We're going to have some reinforcements over towards Break Room down to the south, so it's likely going to be trying to hold on to Bunk and Daycare. This is probably one of the few sites that you really would try to keep hold of vertically for as long as possible. The others, particularly Armory and Throne downstairs, is a little bit limited as to what can be done. You might have a presence up there to waste time for the attackers, but this would be the one that you want to really keep hold of Cafe, so it looks like that's what they're going to be doing now. Sleben, he's ready to zip his way into Break Room by the looks of things, just waiting for the information and the 3-2-1 that he needs to get himself in there as soon as he knows that it's clear, and he's not going to be immediately challenged.
I haven't seen too many drones rolling around in front of him to give him that information that it's clear, but got no doubt that Gyrohot's going to come out, as it now has, and in he goes. Ready there as well, the EE1D coming out on top. All the Candelas have been whiffed in here as well, so Sleben is in and charging. Will he find his man? Yes, he will. 2 quick kills coming out for Secret there once they burn through most of their utility in the execute. Don't yet have site control, but do have the kills they need.
That's very good. A very good start from Secret. First minute, they've got 2 kills. They've got pretty much top floor control. I think everybody on the... I was just going to say, I think everybody on the side of DarkZero has been pushed back downstairs, but they've just got Canadian up there to deal with. I don't know if they're aware of his presence or that he's going to be flanking here, but the double door is barricaded, so that's going to prevent Canadian being able to move smoothly back through. So he's going to hold his position in initiation for the time being, but they are well aware of the potential threat from there.
Still here's Canadian dancing around, as you say, on this upstairs, looking to hit whoever he can as they try and push their way through the top. Has settled down pretty quickly in the round as well, despite that initial bit of aggression that we saw coming on through. Canadian has to work his way through a barricade here, steps in and sees a man, collects him for free. Sleben caught snoozing. And could this be DZ pulling around back in their favour? Maybe not, and Savage gets the shutdown.
I was going to say, you can't let him get away with that easily. They were aware of that position and then just sort of let go of it and allowed him to move on to the flank, but the trade comes out quite quickly. Savage doing a great job, and we now find ourselves in a 2 versus 4 for DarkZero. Sprayed through the soft wall. Final kills come in, and Team Secret take themselves round 1.
Nice cozy first round. Those first 2 kills that came in quite early on was what they were looking for as well. Really set the tone for the rest of it, and although I know we've seen both teams give away rounds from a lead, it's been less common for Secret throughout the series, so glad to see them still keeping up that trend and being able to close things out from the 5 versus 3.
Moving into round 2, it looks like it's going to be an armory and throne defense for DarkZero. They're going to move away from lab and storage. Keep it downstairs though, but I'll be interested to contrast and see how much utility and manpower is expended on trying to keep hold of the top floor. It didn't really work out for them last time. Secret were able to go in and sort of sweep them away quite easily, so I would expect to maybe see a little bit less this time.
You'd hope so. Once again, the Solar's being deployed, looking to do a bit of work. Matched up by the IQ and the EE1Ds. I love the use of it in the last round, personally. Mainly used to make sure that we had the Amaro getting into the map safely, but I think here, it works with any of the operators. It helps with those pushes forward. It helps to capitalize on the chaos that DZ come under. Because where they have struggled at points is when we do get Secret coming in at quite some pace. Not through a bottleneck most ideally. You saw this in the last round when they had the Monty rush in their first attacking round on Bank. They were held at bay by the smoke canisters, the Vulcans, for example. All the things working together to slow down what would have been a pretty successful rush, all things considered. But I think the EE1D just helps them again capitalize on that chaos, keep DZ panicking, and really help Secret propel themselves forward to a win. Almost the reverse of what we saw before, where they were focused on Skyscraper on the defensive side of stopping DZ getting to the execute. Here it's kind of accelerating Secret execute to bring it even further forwards and even quicker.
Kendrew sending a drone into sight. I don't think its life will be too long-lived. It's just sat in the corner there. I would expect it to be spotted out, but for the time being, they know that there is the potential for getting in there. I think they're aware that there's a few off-site at the minute. They've managed to run underneath the hatch, but DarkZero were more than ready for that attempt, and they're going to get 3 kills along the way, and the rush attempt from Secret has fallen apart. We've heard Twister in the timeouts a couple of times speaking about the opportunity to go for rushes and to have the confidence to do it if they think there's an opportunity, and they've obviously listened to that, taken it to heart, but it hasn't panned out this time.
Just got themselves into a spot here where clearly it's fell apart, and truthfully, like, one of my favourite sayings that one of my mentors has is, you have to have a plan to change a plan. There's no plan to change, well, there was a plan to change, but it was over far too quickly, the 3 of them being completely deleted inside of barrels. And once it's all fallen apart from there, well, you can't really change it and look to adapt. A flawless round in the second, so as good as that first round was, negated immediately by the other side.
DarkZero immediately leveling things up, not allowing things to get too far out of hand. It's going to be 1-1, and honestly, I think this map is going to continue largely in the same trend. I think we're going to have this very close from beginning to end. It's going to be a defensive top floor this time around, so it's going to be Bunk and Daycare that DarkZero are going to be going to for their 3rd choice site. It's the first time we've seen them defending upstairs, and interestingly, the first time that they haven't brought Solis along. So deciding where they can put, as I said, coming into this, you know, where there is the opportunity to potentially play underneath and play for a little bit of denial with the Solis, it's just a very difficult map to do it on, particularly to keep that operator alive, so choosing not to go for that.
Absolutely. Okie doke. Let's see how round 3 plays out. We've had a strong round from either side so far. Kendry moving over to playing here on the Monty as well. Had an interesting development in the game a second ago that is currently still being resolved over on Stream A. Hopefully should get back underway pretty soon. Both of our last 2 series actually going all the way through to the 3rd map, Tim, and quite deep as well.
I think it might be the first night that that's happened.
Yeah. Normally it is wrapped up by now. It's 10, just after 10 PM here, local.
We could well be here for another hour or so, depending how this one goes.
Imagine.
If we see all 12 rounds and it goes to overtime, then it would be around that mark for it to be finished off. We're on the top floor attack this time. Medics is trying to blame us, but personally I blame Medics. It's every time that Medics observes for us, we end up with this much overtime.
Yes, it always seems to follow us 3 around. Astro finding out Skies as well. Smoke, ideally not the one you want to be losing so early into the round. That's the way that it has unfolded this time around. And Secret, now with that numbers advantage, can look to do what they did back in round 1. Just slow it down, boys. You've got that numbers advantage. Play for those trades. Plan things out once again, because you've still got a solid 2 minutes to work with.
Slabin going in with Switchtron, just taking down those default cameras and electronics as he goes. NJR looking on the long angle. It's an interesting rotation that's been opened from site. It's just giving a long angle all the way through. The Monty's going to be pushing into it now, but it's pretty critical that DarkZero hold on to this location. Quite often that'd be the breach that the attackers are looking for, so you've sort of almost given it to them without them having to come in and hard breach. But you need to make sure that you hold on to it.
Absolutely. Sleben here looking to sleuth his way in on the downstairs and see what he can find. It's Astro on the upstairs, though, doing work alongside Savage. Here comes the Monty marching on his way forwards and has gone down to NJR. How on earth has that worked out? Got him on the side of it as well. NJR into a second one, and now has got it to do against 3 players.
Unlikely at this point, despite how good that NJR has been playing so far tonight. He knows that there's one on the left of him. This is going to be a freebie, surely. He knows the peak is coming. He's ready for it. There you go. Sprays him down, leaves him in a 1v2. Becomes a bit more doable, but loses health along the way that he really could have done with keeping. Finds himself on about 30 HP now. Can probably manage 1 bullet at the most, and the second will be the end of him. But if Team Secret give him an opportunity here, there you go. Beautiful from NJR. And he gets the last fantastic 1v3 to finish off it is. What a round from NJR to cap off what has been a fantastic night of siege from him so far.
There's just no way NJR has pulled that off against Secret. Looking at the numbers just developed down, it was a 2 versus 5. For all intents and purposes, a 1 versus 5. As Pamba was off the board quite early into this play, but pulls it off against every single member and ensures DZ have what many would argue wasn't a deserved round. But with a play like that, NJR deserves every single kill along that way.
An ace with a knife onto the Monty included.
Oh.
You don't get many of them. I'm going to tell you that now. You do not get many of those. NJR has been outstanding so far tonight. Not just there, but in general. We've mentioned his name an awful lot. Not just in terms of frags, but just everything he's brought to the team. He's been a stalwart for DarkZero so far in this matchup.
Whew. Player of the series, maybe him and Groovy definitely fighting it out to be the top 2. Like 100%. Both have played out their absolute skins as this series has gone by. Of course, good rounds and performances by several other members. I know Canadian, for example, hasn't been up there when it comes to kills, but his Solus play has really dominated the Intel game against Secret. Really excited to see what the end stats look like, because I get a feeling that once again this is going to be another long map, Tim.
Yeah, very possibly. I think, as we've said, it's likely to see a bit of back and forth. We're on another attack here. It's going to be initiation and office this time around. Secret going straight away over to that east side to look at potentially getting in towards Cash and 90 corridor. Quite often we will see a defender stationed in and around 90 corridor, but I don't think that's actually the case for DarkZero here. So, nope, they're going to give a little bit of access on that control and Cash side. So, just something that they need to be aware of. Now, interestingly, we do have a player underneath. I'm not sure who it is down in armory. I think it could be Canadian on the Legion, but they're going to need to be cautious when approaching, because those traps, you can hear them just pinging off already as they try to move across to push the Roma.
Already being wary of the one player. They've got the ping on him as well. They know that he's sat inside the vault. They know what to be looking for here as well. We've seen a couple of teams struggle. In fact, it was G2 versus Koi when we had this back on day one, when they ignored Voigt, sat inside the vault, and he did really punish them for it across a couple of rounds. Secret here looking a little bit more attentive, given they had that ping down inside of Vault itself. But as looking at the positioning of most of DarkZero, they are sat quite far back here and almost inviting Team Secret to come pressing on forward, looking for these kills. Two members of DarkZero expecting a push to come in on the west side, but surely here they start to catch a whiff that actually pretty much every single member of Team Secret is working their way in from the east.
Just going to have a nade coming in over the top of the shield. It's a little shield off there as we've got one facing the other. It's going to be the deployable of the defenders that gets taken out. It allows Secret to start pushing forward, opening that wall a little bit. And this is it. They might well just come running straight in on the back of this. They've got the shield set up. They've got diffuser in hand. And it looks like they might just go and try and get in behind the pillar inside of the initiation room there to put the diffuser down.
Oh, here we go. He's made it as well. There's no one sat watching on the near side. Wants to get the rest of it opened up too, which might make this a little more precarious. Has got in there, maybe can make a plan happen, but he's got to be careful of getting pinged by these players that are super close, just like that. But what a kill coming in from the side swipe as well. Kendrew might be getting away with this one as well. Plant has been stuck into a 4v3. Great play by Secret.
Absolutely beautiful getting that plant down. Kendrew with the presence of mind, even when hit by the impact nade, to continue planting. Astro finding Gaveni. Pamba can do nothing but try to just get on the diffuser, and it is going to be an easy kill for Team Secret, and they're going to level things up 2-2.
Let's go.
Exciting round so far on this map, actually.
Very much so, very much so. It's been a...
Enjoying the variety.
I won't say it's been a slow burner, really. Skyscraper was a great map as well, as was Bank. You know, we've been treated to a lot of overtime. There's been plenty of action going on, but yeah, you just feel this one is really reaching a crescendo.
I doubt they're going to do it again, but yeah, you ready around this one? You can honestly, you can average the device, it's probably cheaper like 2 rounds. Back up, because of how slow so yeah, just food for thought on that. But otherwise, again, they're probably going to switch back to clearing on this one. Fine, but just
yeah, I'm gonna
okay, perfect.
Really interesting defensive style there, where Twister I felt was a little bit more prescriptive in his coaching style and how he was communicating to the team. Mint there has been very kind of, I mean, do this if you want, but like, here's what I think, and maybe do this. Real difference in kind of conviction the two have got. But Mint's thing there was, look, comms are getting crazy, calm it down a little bit. Yeah. And this is what you hear a lot of coaches say. Sometimes you're stepping in not because you want to correct a micro thing in the round, but you can just sense the team getting a little bit worried with each other. They're getting a little bit panicked. It's just good to breathe a little bit and just have that 45 seconds to reset the mental. For DarkZero, I can imagine it is a bit of a kicker inside 4 rounds to have already lost 2 of your defenses. Theme Park considered a bit of a fortress. Many teams scared of playing it, to be honest with you, because of how hard it is to attack into. But Team Secret showing the way forward, it seems.
Honestly, no idea which way this one is going to go. We've got the Aruni on side in the hands of Gaveni. Going to put laser gates both on Cafe single and double doors. So obviously expecting pressure to come in from that side. It's an armory and throne defense. We saw this back in round 2. Defense 1. DarkZero were able to get this one locked down, so they're going back to a site that they've already won. They're expecting obviously a top floor clearance to come in from Team Secret, hence the laser gates being placed on Cafe door and window. Sorry, both of Cafe doors. So Team Secret could maybe mix this up by not coming in from that side. Maybe don't play into the utility, you know, come in from the... There's no reason why they can't come in from the cash side and control to try and move across top floor if they want that control.
Always many options on this map, given the size of it.
Pamba might be one reason that they can't come in through that side.
I mean, he's had a pretty good series as well. So kind of playing the shadow of NGR a little bit, but has still put up double digits across the 2 maps that they've had so far, I believe. I know we definitely saw that on the previous. Here he's hoping someone might come flying in through the window, but not quite to be the case. They were moving around elsewhere. Astro drops down though, and this is where suddenly you're in danger zone. You're in Pamba territory. You might be trying to look at this window to get a little swing onto him here as well. Out he comes. Is he going to find him? All too easy. Astro, you've been here a million times in rank, buddy. That shouldn't be happening.
you can't leave that window in a position where Pamba can jump out of it.
Not where it's open, no.
They're obviously aware of his, being in that area, because otherwise they wouldn't be being so cautious about approaching it. And then there's nobody covering the window. There's no Claymore. There's no nothing. Like you just can't do it. You've given him that for absolute free. So a little bit of a misstep there from Team Secret. A shame for them. Leaves the DarkZero in a 5 versus 4, and it really slows down any progress on the top floor clearance as well. That's the problem for Secret.
Nade now the one holding inside the cache, so one side down to his south side dealt with, but now that they've got away with that, he's still looking to play quite aggressively in that area of the map. Drops the hatch and works his way back down towards site here. I like how DarkZero are looking to play the map, not just sit inside site and be quite scared here, but he could really pull off a bit of damage. Did they lose that exothermic, by the way? No, they kept it. All being electrified just in time there with the little scare away for Kendrew.
Kendrew will likely come back at a point. They are working above to just try and make sure everything's cleared off. In goes the nade, try and get rid of that electrification, which it will do, I think. I was just looking through to the very back of site there, but Kendrew is actually going to relocate anyway onto the barrel's wall. No, they didn't get the electrical that was electrifying that side of the wall, so that's going to be in tight. But the push is going to have to come through barrels for Team Secret. That's the one that they've got open. Kendrew does have another exothermic in pocket, but with no nades left on side, they're going to struggle to clear off any other denial, any other electrification, so they're going to be stuck to this position. A double kill comes in for DarkZero.
As well, Canadian finding one with the Razor Bloom, bringing down Kendrew on the other side. 2 left for Secret. Looking like Secret's little tactical timeout here at least has helped them get back on the board. Seven stepping in to try and do what he can, but it's not going to happen. It's a flawless round as NJR collects a couple of kills there in the dying moments.
Honestly, every round that goes by here is just a swing from one side to the other. You've got Team Secret coming in with a great round, a good attack, and then DarkZero come back with a flawless of their own.
I really like that.
Another tactical timeout coming in this time from Secret.
Just take floaters and then just start waiting that we're moving resources in the sides, just doing this shit, and we take the map fast with all the others. Not droning, you know. No. Not droning. No. We are going to bait right now. Then we just don't waste time onto that. We're wasting too much time sitting on drones and less time playing. We need more to play together. If someone gets killed, you guys are there together just to get the refract. Don't worry about it. That's what we'll do right now. They will think that I'm passing you guys a rush. They're thinking that we are going to say to you guys to rush, and that's not what is going to happen. Let's go. Okay. Let's go. You guys got this.
Again, the conviction and difference between Mint and between Twister is really, really interesting.
Yeah, Twister very sort of directive, and this is what we're going to do. That's what I want you to do this round. As you say, Mint more an observation. This is the information that I've seen. So that you can factor into it. I suppose you've got to factor in, and it's not to.
You know what I really need to. Now we've started doing this, I really, really need to see a G2 game.
Yeah.
I need to hear Fabian just tell Doki that he is the worst player in the world several times over. It will make my day.
I think you've got to look at the players that information's being fed into as well. And this isn't a comment about anybody on Secret. They've plenty of experience and knowledge there, but you've also got to look at the side of DarkZero. You've got a Canadian, one of the most experienced IGLs in the game. He's won more than anybody else, I believe, in Siege. So I think Mint's probably got a very sort of, respectful relationship with him, and so we'll provide this bit of information, and the team can do with it, what you will, or you can use it in that way. And it's just different styles of getting the same job done. And we've seen DarkZero especially have some success with that back in Charlotte.
Absolutely. Well, they've got up to 3-2. It's the dream storyline they were looking for, or score line, not storyline. Score line they were looking for to keep things moving in their direction. A 4-2 really, only the thing that will be acceptable to DarkZero. A 3-3 here would feel like chaos. But you heard their conversation a second ago around trying to play for trades on Secret and playing it a little bit slower. Maybe they're right in the DarkZero are expecting a rush, but for now at least, they aren't all hovering around site. In fact, Canadian keeping himself busy once again off around Dragon.
I think DarkZero have done a great job of, in some ways, playing in unexpected ways. You know, when on Bank they expected Team Secret maybe to have a similar slow approach, DarkZero had none of it, and you know they got in there and they went to site and they were there quickly. And I think much the same here, where they're sort of expecting certain things out of them. They are managing to surprise them. We're going to have Canadian, I think it was, no, it's going to be Gavani on the Goyo that's going to be heading back down yellow stairs, and that is going to give Team Secret some top floor control.
Digs his way back in towards site here on a slither of HP, leaving Astro in no better shape either, to be honest, down to just sub 50 HP. You know that maybe takes a couple of bullets, but literally no more than that. There's longer angles being held off there. Astro with an eye towards the backpack of Gavani, but not able to find him yet, as he's indeed through a wall.
Just going to start with the Rotero drones, looking for information, make sure there's no players knocking about, and then also open up some vertical angles as well if they feel that those will be useful. There's not too many that look directly on into sight, but they can certainly support them through barrels, for example. Groovy managing to find a kill from Dragon onto Canadian inside of sight, and that's a good opener for Secret. Gavani is on low health as well.
Drops a donk on his head there, literally, as he crouches down, follows him all the way down to the ground. Far too easy. Now that's not sight, sorry. It's Armory taken over. Of course, not forgetting that Islam and Storage, they're looking to try and take control off here, but they are marching on through, spearheaded by Groovy on this Amaru. 3 left alive, making a 4 versus 3 to be precise, down to a 3v3. NJR again, by the way. Jesus Christ.
Absolutely unstoppable at the minute is NJR.
I'm gonna get his stats up.
Just going to take out the bulletproof camera there, but 35 seconds left on the clock. Secret need to be aware of this. Vulcan canisters being popped. NJR it is again. Diffuser dropped, and that leaves us now in a 3v2. DarkZero have fought back fantastically here to see how the round started. NJR once again puts himself onto 10 overall. Sleben's taking damage, and you just know who it's going to be likely to finish him off. NJR's waiting. He's going out of this hole. He wants the kill. You know he does. He sprays down the soft wall. Doesn't find his man. 7 seconds left to go. There's the peak. There's the kill for NJR. And what another unbelievable round from him.
He's 6 kills away from breaking the best of 3 LAN record. Held by Cyber at 49. NJR's on 43. Groovy's not too far behind on 35, admittedly, but my God, NJR is flying right now.
Is that including everything in that round as well? We'll have to just wait for our tracker.
I'm pretty sure that's all updated, but I may be wrong.
Worst case scenario is he needs 6 more kills. And it just shows how consistent he's been, because he hasn't, you know, he hasn't broken a single map kill record, for example. He's
5 kills off.
Been so consistent throughout. Yep, there was another one yet to go on, so he's 5 kills away. We will keep a close eye on that, but honestly, I wouldn't be surprised. Depending what happens, if DarkZero win this in 3 rounds, for example, then it could be tough for him. I wouldn't be surprised to see him break 50 kills. 6 kills will get him 50.
And the thing is, he doesn't look like he's slowing down on this map. He's 11-2, for God's sake. Nearly averaging 2 kills per round here. It's unbelievable delivery.
Switching over onto the defense, and the question for NJR at least is going to be, can he keep that momentum of killing on the attack? He's bringing the Iana, so he's certainly setting himself up to go in there and get those frags. I'm sure the team will be supporting him as well, because right now, when you've got a player that's hitting shots like NJR is, honestly, just, you know, take the leash off and let him go, because that's what's going to win your rounds.
I think at this point, Medics can just go and get himself an early night sleep. We'll just leave the camera on NJR for the whole thing. It's clearly he is the player to watch. Secret know that he's giving them a lot of issues right now. They've not really had their own superstar in Groovy shine. Sure, at 6-4, he's not half bad, but it's still nowhere near what NJR's delivery has been. Maybe things change now, the sides have swapped. We will see.
Canadian just going to be clearing out that barricade. No immediate progress into the map just yet for DarkZero, but it's all posturing up towards Break Room and the east side for the time being. NJR, or the one to watch as we will call him for the time being, is going to be sending his drone into Break Room, wants to get in there, knows that's not going to be possible. He's going to work on the rappel instead for the time being. And the rest of DarkZero fairly slow so far on the attack.
I wonder what NJR stands for. If it's just his name, I'm going to be really disappointed. But, like, not just something.
I don't know.
Not just ranked, or I don't know, whatever it might be. I will find out later.
I wish I was just ranked. I'm not even ranked.
You're like Emerald, aren't you?
I am Emerald, yeah.
Yeah, you're fine, mate. See, you're fine. Oh, Kenny! much ruining the party.
Somebody had to spoil the fun, but the thing is, you've got to look at that in realistic terms for Team Secret. That's a big play. NJR's the ones hitting shots at the minute. If we look through the rest of the team, 4-2, 3-3, you know, you've taken down the top fragger by a clear margin there, so it's just going to give that little bit of a feeling. You know, we've all been in those games, right? We've got the top frag down. You know, it just gives that little bit of a boost. Even at this level, I imagine it's still the case. You know, you've got him done, and you can start focusing on the rest of the team.
Oh,
just like that.
You really feel like Sky should have had that one. The beautiful thing for NJR, of course, is when he's not on the field, the team don't really seem able to pull rounds back. So if he's only getting kills when he's winning, it cannot be too bad a thing. Pamba down on the deck as Kendra gets that finish off as well. Canadian, the last one left standing, and it feels like a secret round is underway to bring things up to 3 rounds for them and get them that first defensive round win.
Canadian just pushing that angle, but is not going to get any joy as Team Secret get their first defense done. That's Armory and Throne locked down for them, and that brings us back to 4-3.
Yeah.
Whew. Again, it's probably a good thing for NGR that he feels like the rounds where he dies, they aren't winning, because it means the game gets prolonged for even longer. It's big brain, I'm telling you, it's a team tactic.
It's an interesting one that I doubt is it.
Nah, it's the DZ strat book. Let NJR shine. Take a record over, at least it's that to walk away with from SI if you guys don't push too deep into the tournament. But I think here what we're going to see is us going into storage and lab. Does mean you're going to once again see a defensive hold that spreads across the entirety of the map. DarkZero have done that in their 2 defenses of this site. Secret already opening up a number of things on the upstairs, looking to do exactly the same. The alibi of Astro, charging almost quite literally through walls.
Bit of an extension on the same floor. Potentially on the top floor as well. They're going to want to hold on to Cafe. We saw DarkZero do that repeatedly. Yep, we've got plenty of utility going. We've got some reinforcements there. Bunk and Daycare is going to be held on to as well. It's going to leave Team Secret. I'm going to say the same as I did on Bank as well. And Skyscraper at times. It's going to leave them spread quite thin. If they're playing all the way over towards Dragon, if they've got somebody up in Bunk and they've got somebody in Cafe, for example, it is going to leave them stretched and potentially isolated into 1v1 fights, which could be a bit of a problem for them, but we'll see just how they manage to link themselves together so they can trade off each other, something that Twister was talking about in a previous timeout.
Got himself rid of one of those Vulcan canisters that was strapped to the wall of sight. Something that's not going to bug them as we go in towards the last 60 seconds of a round. Can be a real big time delay. So thankful to see that one taken away. The rest of DarkZero looking to work their way through the map. And one thing I will say, Tim, at least in that last round, it felt like a little more pacey compared to previous. Think about how slow they were back on Skyscraper way back at the very start of this series, and even somewhat on Bank. At least it feels like the problems of speed haven't yet caught up to them.
No, it doesn't.
Yet.
It's certainly, yeah, I'd agree. I think that problem was reasonably limited to Skyscraper from what we've seen. I think on the other 2 maps, DarkZero haven't had as much of a problem in terms of their pacing and getting to a point of executing. They're only on the second tanking round here, so not really an opportunity to get the diffuser down, but we will see how that goes. We know they are a diffuser-focused team. They do like to play that way and get it down, get the case down, but we'll see whether they create a chance or not. Now, Astro's going to be forced back by the player on the break room window. He's going to be on mezzanine now, along with a Seki. He's actually going to drop over there and back up the arcade stairs, so pressure is certainly mounting at the moment.
I think they're suspecting a jump out might come through here as well. I think it was the twitch with the DMR Cavani just waiting, watching the window, expecting someone to come flying out of the barrel's window at any moment. But the player was there, has pulled away. So nothing really to be concerned about just yet. We're still playing things nice and safely. We're getting towards that last 60 seconds though, Tim, and that does mean that DZ have got to get their plan in motion. Got to start looking towards site, for example, taking a couple of players out to make this a little bit easier because Secret are still being a little bit ratty, tucked into a couple of corners.
Yep, nice position, just being held inside of Armory and Throne there, which isn't even the site. Pamba is going to take down Kendrew, and that's going to give a little bit of motivation here as Gavene. He just keeps that stone rolling down the hill, getting the kill onto Savage. Pamba with the second on the round. Astro is going to be there to pick up Canadian. 30 seconds left to go, takes Pamba as well, and it is going to take a couple of kills to come in from elsewhere. Gavaney with his second in the round, and that leaves only Sleben left alive. Skies is putting this diffuser down. Sleben, he's looking to move into position to see what he can do. He's going to have to move through the showers.
Yeah, following him round for this one as well. Finds NJR, not ideal. 2 left alive. Sleben knows his superpower time. He's looking for the little one-tap headshots, but can't quite collect them. He's still got about 25 seconds to work with though here, Tim, so he can choose to take his shots carefully.
Moving around to the double door, just trying to relocate. He's just using those peak holes as best he can. They know exactly where he is though, and that's going to be the cut down at the end of the round from DarkZero. As I said, a team that likes to put the diffuser down on the ground. They had the opportunity to do so then, and Skies was straight in. Didn't need asking twice, got it down on the ground, and that's DarkZero taking themselves another round. It's 5-3.
Turns out I am really disappointed. NJR is for his full name, which is Nick James Rapier.
Okay.
I'm really upset by that. I really hoped it'd be something a bit more creative. Not that I'm knocking your name choice, NJR. I'm very aware these are personal things, but I thought there'd be some secrets, hidden away meaning in that.
Unfortunately not.
Damn it.
I quite like it though. I think it works quite well. You couldn't necessarily get away with that any set of initials, but I think NJR just has an.
What's your middle name?
I don't have one.
Oh, me neither.
I don't have one. I wasn't quick enough then. I wasn't quick enough then. I should have said something like Legend. But I don't have one.
I would have judged you so hard if you turned around and said that. Yeah, I mean, NJR and TLL doesn't really have the same vibe.
You know what I mean? This is what I'm talking about. NJR does have a nice flow to it. So if those were your initials, I can understand why you'd be like, yeah, I'll use it. Because that is.
If you were TLL, I'd call you a total lagging loser.
I mean, I am that as well. So.
Lagging in the head.
No. Internet's actually.
That's why you hold down F. Your internet's fine in the north end. You've got electrical.
In the north, yeah, we've got electricity and everything does.
I understand in the last 2 years you guys have gained internet up there. I know it's a new novelty for you guys, but it does seem like you're generally alright we play together.
Getting running water next week.
Oh, really? Yeah. Wow, I'm so happy for you guys.
Straight into the house.
Wait till they give you a TV, mate. That's special.
Here we go then. We are in round 9. DarkZero going pretty well, I think, on Theme Park here. Team Secret are just, I don't know if it's maybe a little bit of fatigue or what. They just seem to be slipping behind in the last couple of rounds. You know, opportunities maybe just passing them by. DarkZero able to grind them down. And I think if DarkZero get this round, it's going to be a huge ask for Team Secret to come back into it. They've got the ability, we know that. But I think it might just be a stage of the night where it could be a big ask.
A big ask for everyone, I think, as we get towards the later hours of the day. Interesting to see as well a bit of a change coming in where it's Canadian playing on the ace with NJR going over to the Flores. I think Flores is Canadian's most played operator we've seen so far throughout the competition, but here, no, small change around in terms of who is playing what. Of course, that there by Jammer by the looks of it on the other side of this wall. So for now, that Shield and Mute Jammer and ADS shall stay standing just outside of the cafe doors.
Twitch drone going in. Gavaney just looking to make sure there's no proximity alarms or anything else behind that door that's going to signal an entry in through cafe. Sleben's going to drop back into office. Reinforcement in pocket, ready to go. Kendrew in position, going to close that up. Team Secret just deciding that enough's enough on the cafe side. The prodding, the poking has moved them away, and in come DarkZero.
And there goes the Shield and the ADS. So Cafe cleared out and DZ can start their march forward. My main concern there, Tim, is it has taken them 2 minutes to get that done. You know, a Twitch drone and a couple of Flores Roteros really should have been enough there. Secret long pull back, reinforced off the rotations that they left open. So a little bit worried for DarkZero here when it comes down to time.
We've maybe hit them with a little bit of a cast the curse. We were talking about how timing hadn't really been an issue. I've just got to pause on that to say a beautiful throw there from Gavaney. He's practiced that one before, straight up over the roof and in through the hatch. Absolutely wonderful. We have a kill coming in onto Savage there, and that's going to leave us 5v4. Add one onto Astro from Canadian. 5v3 now as the collapse starts to come in for DarkZero, but 20 seconds left to go. They need to get this moving.
The lineup as well from the four of them here, just forming a straight vertical line down the middle of the map, looking to push forward into Team Secret here. Are sat on the site. They push forward, they march in, the smokes come out. The smoke literally everywhere, both the good kind and the bad kind. In they go, but in the corner is Groovy. Finds one, shut down by NJR, but can't collect a second. Secret pull 2 more back, and it looks like they will hold on. Team Secret take round 9.
Bring it back to 5-4, only 1 round in it now, and Team Secret are certainly pumped up and ready for this.
It's boring to play against, man. Play the game.
Let's go Bunkers.
I think Kendra needs to remember that they are indeed all wearing soundproof headsets.
I did question fatigue and energy in that last round, and maybe Team Secret were just starting to drop off a little bit, but I don't think that's the case.
I do take his point. I think his stress there is you guys aren't playing the game, you know, you're not moving, it's very slow, like you're not playing it the way we expect. And I commented it took 2 minutes to burn out a shield on the cafe doorway, leaving very little time to actually worry about the execute, which is why they were driving into Groovy with that shotgun waiting at the ready.
That round was definitely DarkZero slipping back to Skyscraper DarkZero.
Yes.
Rather than some of the more recent attacks that we've seen, particularly on Bank, where they moved a lot more quickly and more decisively. Yeah, it was definitely a slip back, and hopefully for DarkZero fans, it's not going to be something that is a consistent theme here on Theme Park. It's going to be round 10 then. Armory and Throne we will go to next. If we have a look at how that's been defended previously, it was defended back in round 7. Team Secret were able to get the win there, so they're going to be looking for a little bit more of that. Kendrew opened things up with the opening kill onto NJR before following on to a 3K as well. It was a great round for Kendrew. So Team Secret, they're going to be looking to lock things down.
5 kills behind Frenjao when it comes to that kill record. So 17 is the magic number to tie it, 18 is to break it, Tim. Push himself over that precipice and put his name, at least for now, into the record books. As said, Cyber is the one who currently holds it, but it will be pretty big for NGR to push through and break that one wide open.
All up to the roof for the time being. DarkZero wanting to get into the top floor via control, maybe cash, work their way across, get that control, and then think about the hard breaching. They've only got Hibana on hand for hard breach, so they need to be careful of Skies. He's going to be the one who has to open this site up. You really do need a successful hard breach on Armory Throne. I really do not like the attacks that fall down to going through those 2 single doors. Astro is going to spray down Skies there, and that is a big risk. In comes Pamba though. Can he find his man? Pre-fires around. Beautiful kill onto Astro to get things going. Is there a second here? Canadian can't even get there in time. It's all falling apart with a Goveni double kill from Team Secret's perspective, and there is the first one. Savage manages to get back onto Skies, and that at least prevents the hard breach.
It's a momentary breathless. What a shot onto Goveni as well. Jesus, Savage waking up this round with 2 big kills that may have just pulled Secret back into it. I know it's still a 2 versus 3, but Tim, I can't help but stress again how many man advantage situations DZ have been in that Secret have managed to swing back their way.
Canadian just going to open up the wall through to the single door there into 90 corridor. Again, it's just going to make it a little bit difficult maybe to rotate in and out of sides. I don't think Team Secret are going to be playing that game at this point anyway. Savage and Kendrew likely to try and hold out for the last minute inside a site. It's the best they can do. They can watch a door each essentially. There's not going to be any hard breaching going on. They won't necessarily know that. They'll know that they've taken down the Hibana more than likely, but they won't have any idea that those walls aren't going to disappear from around them.
So it turns out I was wrong, actually. It was Nesk at SI21 with 49 in a best of 3. Cyber has 50-something odd in a best of 5. So wrong player, but right sort of intent. Still the right number that we're trying to gun for NGR if he is to break that record. He's got 2 kills. He can possibly find himself here in this round, but Savage feels like he's built a little bit different here in round number 10.
Here comes the final push. Kendrew gets 1, it's NJR. Kendrew gets 2, it's Canadian. And it's all up to Pamba now. 15 seconds left to go. And that feels like a little bit of a throw from DarkZero. And it all comes down to that hard breaching. Pamba does manage to put down Savage, finishes him. And Kendrew is on the run here. And this is the absolute right thing to do. There is no diffuser in hand, no option to extend that clock. And that's going to be Team Secret leveling things up 5-5. And Des, if you remember, I said they cannot lose lose Skies, you need that hard breach on that site because otherwise you are funneled into 2 single doors. And look what happens. Kendrew stands next to it and gets a double kill on the single door.
It's another man advantage situation that DZ have found themselves losing as well. Yes, with the influence of losing the hard breach, but again, there can be a numbers advantage, but the number of times they've seen rounds slip through their fingers will be really punishing for DZ. This probably could have been a 2-0 for them in this series, but here we're going to play all rounds of regulation, 12 guaranteed. But Tim, I think we know what's coming.
It certainly looks that way at the minute. There's nothing to separate these two. If we look,
we've had 2 8-6s, right?
Yeah. If we look through the history of who's won what, it's been. DarkZero have led a lot of the time, to be fair. It was Secret, DarkZero, Secret, DarkZero, so we had the 4-2 half, but then Secret now 3 out of the last 4 rounds, really coming back into things to level everything up. So 5-5, we're in round 11, and it is going to be a bunk and daycare defense for Team Secret.
All right, let's see how DarkZero work their way through this one. Then again, speed and pace has been the thing that has started to build up again as we got into the last 2 or 3 rounds. Same as it was back on Skyscraper at the very start of this best of 3. A couple of questions and comments being made by Team Secret in DarkZero's direction about what the hell they're actually playing at when it comes around to pacing. So we'll see if they can pick it up a little bit here. Canadian once again back on the AK-12 of Ace, a gun that many have fell in love with, I think, Tim. You're seeing even some entry players starting to play Ace, and Odoki did for a time as well. Just feeling it to be one of the stronger guns in the game.
Yeah, the AK is very good. And also, it's not just that you've got a good gun. If you've got a hard breacher that's got a good gun and claymores, so can play on a rappel maybe, keep yourself safe, and you've also got the flexibility. A player like Dorky who isn't going to be pushing with the hard breacher, is going to be doing solo things, then has the option to hard breach reinforcements as well. It can be very powerful.
There we go. Marching their way forward then, DZ. Drones doing a bit of the work for them, but this is where they've stalled out before. They've got themselves inside the building pretty quick and then found themselves for 2 minutes doing very little. A point back to a few rounds ago, the 2 minutes spent trying to clear a shield away from Cafe. Secret probably feeling like they can burn through the clock even when there is a Flores on side, and here we are again, about to start playing that exact mini-game. But there is no mute jammer. Or is there? No, there is behind the shield.
The
smart.
shield
They've moved it behind the shield, but here comes Gaveni, so a nade could very well come flying through.
They have to get that Twitch jammer, the Twitch drone, because as soon as the mute jammer's taken out, the Flores drone will activate.
I think it just is.
There you go, and it will take the shield down. So a little bit of a problem for them there. Nope, still in position.
Now it's gone.
Exactly that. There you go. There goes your ADS, there goes your shield. At that point, choosing to get a little bit aggressive there. The drone coming in. Sleben needs to just think about overcommitting there. Skies is going to take a lot of damage on the rappel. Needs to be careful. Big play from Sleben. One of those super Sleben moments as he gets too savage. Manages to find Pamba, and Team Secret could really be doing this, Des.
They're pushing their way through with Stahl here as well. DZ just flagging, it feels, with no real bite to this attack. Have been picked to pieces by Secret. Now, with how things are set to go, it'll be a 6-5 to Secret. One more round, we'll see them taking this 2-1 and walking away with 3 points, leaving DZ with just 1. What a shot coming out of Skies, though. Oh, and a second! Chaining together some naughty little one-taps, but it's going to bleed out to the smoke.
Let's go! Let's fucking go!
After those 2 shots as well, that's so unfortunate.
It is. He had to try and recover that diffuser. He was doing everything he could. Sometimes you can just flirt with the edge of those toxic gas clouds and get away with it, but not the case there for Skies, unfortunately.
Absolutely not.
Well, Team Secret take the lead for the first time here on Theme Park, and what a time to do it. They get 1 bite at the cherry to close this one out and get the win here and now. They need to lock it down. DarkZero are going to be throwing everything at this to try and get it done, but you just feel like Team Secret have got the momentum. I said at a point, a bit of a cast of curse, I said Team Secret just felt like they were flagging a little bit. They'd lost 4-2 in the first half. They were struggling. They were 5-3 down at the point where I said it, and since then they haven't lost a round, and if anything it looks like it's the sails of DarkZero that have lost the wind.
They really have, especially here on the attacking side. I know a few rounds ago I was really excited about NGR, but I think he's got 1 kill across the last 4 rounds. We speak about these hero players, the ones that are shining and carrying a team through. Really, for me, the hero of the last few rounds has been Pamba. tearing through on a couple of entries, picking up a 2K here and there as well, helping keep DarkZero in it, but we've really got to see something special coming out here in round 12 if we are to guarantee overtime. But Tim, the thing I'm most worried about in overtime is its Secret starting on defense. It just goes from bad to worse for DarkZero because that advantage carries through for Secret, and I could see them winning this.
Honestly, I could as well. I could see either of these two teams winning it. It's been so close throughout. You know, surely we're not going to have a third map go to overtime. We've had the first two go there, and it's been such an even matchup. It's been fantastic entertainment for us and for everybody at home. You can't really ask for a better game of Siege, really. You know, no clear winner either way. No idea what's going to happen round to round. Somebody just playing Savage is going to be underneath the 90 default camera. Pretty standard spot now. So whilst getting spotted out on the drones, you would expect DarkZero to be guessing that he would be in that position.
I like this as well.
Amber's done this before with success.
Yeah, the shower window's a real good one to come flying in from, especially if they aren't expecting it. But he's got to be careful about the man just outside the vault to his right-hand side. But here we go, straight up he goes, gun up to the right-hand side, and it's going to find itself 1 for 3. Canadian joins in the party. There's 4 kills that fly through for DZ. Groovy, the last one left standing. 2 smoke canisters in back pocket, but 5 enemies stand between him, his team, and a win. Plant is going down, drops the donk onto Skies, but 4 still stand. Plant is going to get stuck. It looks like overtime is all but guaranteed, Tim.
Certainly does. Full white flash comes in on to Groovy, making his life even more difficult. He's going to switch over to the shotgun, took a bit of damage there, moves around the corner, manages to find a headshot onto NJR. We are now in about a 25-second situation for Groovy here. He needs to find 3 kills if he's got any hope of disabling this diffuser, and utility is just being thrown at him from every single angle. We can hear the Candelas. He's going to find another, and that brings it back to 1v2, but he's now on 1 HP, a breath away from death, and about 5 seconds left to go. There's no chance that he does this, and Des, we're going to overtime.
Big 4K for Canadian as well off the back of that round. Woohoo! What time are we at now, Tim? It's 11:15.
We'll be done by 11, that's not...
Oh, that's I'm not worried about the time too much. I'm more just thinking about the players. This has been a long series.
It has been a long series for them. We're at about...
well, when did we start?
3.5 hours
Quarter past 7 we started? Yeah, 3.5 hours.
We were a little bit late, but... Yeah,
what many don't know is I think the first ever series you and I did together at a LAN, Epic LAN in the UK, was 45 rounds long.
45 rounds.
It was.
And it's never changed.
No, we've not matched that yet. We've come close.
We hold the record for longest competitive Siege match.
That was the best
Tier 1 at least, I can't swear there's not another league anywhere in the world that hasn't had a long one. But in the Berlin major final, I think, what did we...
69 of 75 rounds.
69 of 75.
This is looking to be, at the very least, 41 of 45.
Yeah, it certainly is.
And Tim, if you are following Fresh's bingo card, then you can now tick map OT.
Ticked off. That's
congratulations.
It took until day 3.
Oh, it's bingo, yeah. In the group chat, X is coming saying bingo, and Jack has got the picture in there. He's only got a few left, so he's got to have
a line.
Crowd do a shoey, kill record broken. We weren't too far off, but I think we're going to miss it. Alamar and Super have some beef. Boss Goat clutch, a Siege Valentine's poem. We can sort that out. Interrogation.
Our wheelhouse.
And Milos speaks 4 languages.
A bomb has been located.
I think we'll see that done by the end of things.
I think we'll have this full bingo card, you know. I want to know what happens to the first person that completes the card, though. What do they get?
There isn't a first person, is there? Everybody completes it at the same time.
Yeah, but like the first person to cross it all off and then post it on Twitter or something. Do they get a prize?
What he really needed to do was make a few different cards so you could choose which one you had.
Yeah, that's true.
But it's difficult to come up with all the ideas, so I'll let him off. Here we go then. We're in round 13. It's 6-6, and there is absolutely nothing. You couldn't separate these two with a sheet of paper, Des. There is nothing to come in between the two of them. NJR just going to open up the windows there, just keeping a track on where NJR is up to. Still sitting at 44 kills at the moment. Current record is 49 for Nesk across 3 maps. So if he wants to hold it cleanly, he's going to need another 6 in these last 3 rounds. Potential 3 rounds.
He needs a defensive round if he's going to get anywhere near that, I think. Again, on the attacking side, the last 5 rounds, I think he's now got 1 kill.
Yeah.
Like, it's just not been a good
really
half
slowed down. Really slowed down.
So he's a defensive player. That's what it's all about.
Nothing wrong with that?
Nothing wrong with that at all.
Not at all.
I like defense.
Drone active.
Either way.
You prefer attack or defense?
Sorry?
You prefer attack, don't you? You like holding down F.
I do. I like planting. I quite like defense as well. I like the setting up the plan for them to play into, setting up the puzzle for them to try and unpick, solve.
You like a jigsaw puzzle, Tim?
Yeah, I do.
Well, this puzzle's proving a little bit hard for DZ to unravel right now. Can't quite see the complete picture because, once again, they've been stalled out trying to get these Roteros to go in through Cafe and get rid of the shield, the jammer, the ADS that are set up on the Cafe door. And Secret are just like, why fix what ain't broken? Because the same thing they've tried time and time again has been successful. With 1 minute now left on the clock and still in a 5 versus 5, it feels like Team Secret might be moving on to a 7-6 quite soon.
It certainly does. As we say, time has been the big factor for DarkZero, and they're not really near. I was going to say, if they have an explosive moment around a minute or 45 seconds remaining, they sometimes do it, but it doesn't feel like they're close to that sort of position. Pamba indeed taking down Savage, Frost off the board, but not really close at this point, DarkZero, to getting in and being in a position to start thinking about putting that diffuser down. They are going to breach the site wall. That's a big kill. Gaverni taking down Slevin, and now here we go. DarkZero, 30 seconds left to go. I think they've got the breach done now. They can think about getting into plant, and Des, it might not be going Team Secret's way.
Absolutely not. 12-4 an entry in the series to Pamba, an absolute demon at this point, and Astro has got to hold it down, but it feels like now the defense has crumbled. There's going to be panic stations going into round 14. Finds one more, but Pamba's there for the trade. DZ have done what felt like the impossible with very little time left in a 5v5. They destroy Team Secret. Now the side swap, and this really is where DarkZero have got to show their mettle.
Looks like we're going to be going in, and like you said, DarkZero are going to be fairly comfortable. They were 4-2 on the defense in the first half. The only sites that they lost was Lab and Storage. They lost once, but they won it once. Initiation, they lost once and only played it once. So going down to Armory and Throne, 100% win record from their first half. Played twice, won twice. This is not going to be easy for Team Secret now, and it's... As you say, you know, it's late. It's at the end of a nearly 3.5-hour series. You know, this is time where they've got to really dig into those reserves to get this done and get themselves to that 15th round.
Really got to dig deep, absolutely. You know, obviously the point where no more timeouts can come through here for a chat about the best way of getting there. It is just purely going to come down to figuring it out on your own 2 feet. Kendrew, no doubt, with some ideas of his own to bring into the round, but is it going to be enough?
We've got the Thorn on side. Always an operator that fascinates me with the Razor Blooms. They're not really sort of great for things like entry denial. The fuse on them is a little bit too long, so if you get an Ash running through a door, for example, it's not going to have the sort of impact that you might want. By the time it detonates, she's going to be long gone. So generally used more for intel. You put them in areas that it's going to be a signifier that somebody has come in through there when you're alerted to the detonation or the sound cue of it. But also things like area and plant denial. You know, you can put them in places where, as a planter is going to try and stand still, and then that diffuse is, that fuse timer is not so much of a problem.
Here we go then. Big focus coming in onto the yellow wall here. EMP's coming through. Salma's coming out. That wall is guaranteed to be opened up nice and wide for the boys to get to work, even with NGR in place. But Canadian managed to deny away a couple of those Salmas by the looks of it. Stops some of the job from the wall being opened up. I think it's still going to complete, though, and that will give them an angle into the site.
Yeah, I think there was 2 single holes. Yeah, yes. 2 single holes that opened up. Not easy to shoot off on the Selma charges. A quick 2 kills, a quick 3 as Groovy finds Canadian with a headshot. A lot of headshots raining in today. The mechanical skill of these 2 teams has been a real display to watch. Now, NJR trying to just watch a triple layer angle there all the way up to the top floor hatch, but in a 2 versus 4, it might just need a little bit of activity from DarkZero here to start finding a few kills. Astro is able to shut down Pamba, though, and it's all up to NJR. I mean, what a way to find yourself closer to the kill record, Des, than a 1v4.
I mean, it's a great way to pad out some stats here if you want to get 3 and then give the round away. Sees one man flicks onto him, but can't quite find the kills. No doubt there'll be a drop behind him. One coming in on one side, has found one, but can't get any others. Astro gets that close up tip. We're going all the way to 15.
Certainly are. That much is clear. As DarkZero unable to get it over the line. And it's interesting, really. It's quite funny how often we see this, where a map has been defender-sided so far throughout, and then as soon as you get into overtime, it just completely flips on its head. So you think, oh, that team's got the defense, they've got the advantage, and it just doesn't happen like that. We've had 2 successful attacks. We only had 4 successful attacks through the entirety of regulation time.
Whew. Okay, it comes down to this. The very last round, Secret on defense. DarkZero have got to pull it out again. They did great on their last attack. Both teams have now shown clearly that attack can be done, but defense, it feels, has been the stronger throughout the entire map. So who's going to claim it in round 15? Winner gets 3 points, loser gets just 1. And those 2 points can be all the difference when it comes round to making it through to next week's 6 Invitational games or finding yourself going home.
43 out of 45 rounds we've seen. Surely this must be our longest game at 6 Invitational 2023 as of yet. I'm sure there will be games somewhere down the line that may well try to push past it, but it has been fantastic entertainment and great value either way. And this is it. This will be our final round. We're going to decide one of these two. 3.5 hours, Des, and it all comes down to just 1 round.
I feel like I could do another map.
I could.
Do I want to?
I'm going to choose not to, if that's okay.
I want to go to bed.
I'd quite like my bed.
My voice is at that stage where it's like, right, you've been shouting 3.5 hours now. Shut up. I'm like, okay, I'm sorry. Soon.
I'm quite often at that stage with you, Des, to be honest.
Start open my mouth. Welcome to Shut Up, Des.
Shut up.
All it takes. Right. Let's see how it works out. Who's going to be the hero for either side here? Who's going to make a difference and make it count for those extra 2 points that a team sorely needs? Groovy almost going down to a nade coming out of Pamba. Playing on the Iana here as well. Has been prolific on the entry as mentioned earlier on. 12 and 4 across the series. May have even improved after last round. And he's the kind of guy that you do want leading the charge with the Iana.
Cavani just going to be sending the drones in, trying to feed the information. Savage is on the rear stairs. He's got the storm in hand, and he's just looking to hold them out of the east side for the time being, taking a load of drone out as he goes. Now, 7 drones still on the table, so DarkZero certainly shouldn't be so short of information here. They should know exactly what's going on ahead of them, and that's going to be a good start for NJR. He picks up Savage, and that puts him on 46 kills overall in this best of 3.
I doubt he gets an ace to break it here. I know he's had 1 already in the series, but it was.
He only needs 4. Well, 4 to match, 5 to
That's the thing. He's literally got to get an ace to break it, which I'm not convinced is going to happen, but we'll see if he can. Through we step then, and Groovy's the one now coming off on the flank, working his way out towards Dragon. Has had a ping come through onto one of the drones that will be watching his location as well. So knows the DarkZero have got this area somewhat pinned down with information. No doubt with assistance from Kendra on that Solis earlier on, helping him ping and identify exactly where those were. And he's just waiting for this slither of an angle onto the window to open up wide for him.
Pamba's going to send in the Gemini decoy.
That always gets me. Medics always does it. Changes over the last second as the animation is about to complete on the Iana, and I'm like, hang on.
Yeah, he's got some really smooth ones in the past where it just looks like a really cool transition when he
likes to try and throw me off.
Yeah, when he hits it just right. Canadian's going to send in the EMP grenade. That's going to allow that rear wall at the bottom of yellow stairs to be opened up. It doesn't look like it's happening.
Jammed. Oh, ban. Oh, there we go. They're going. They're going. It's all good. We're okay.
I'm a little worried about the timing.
Oh, no.
I mean, I hate to say I told you so, but I don't. That's a huge mistake.
They're going to lose on the back of that.
That's a huge mistake from DarkZero. They've got 10 seconds left to go, Des. They're just going to have to run in. Astro's going to find a kill onto Pambazoo. Gaveni manages to get one, but Groovy's there for the trade. Skies, it's going backwards and forwards like the entire game. There comes the kill. And somehow DarkZero manage it at the end. NJR Canadian picking up kills, and that was in the very dying seconds. That is going to crush the spirit of Team Secret.
That's the way we like it.
That's the way we like it, Troy. That's the way we like it. A real push at the end. And I surely thought, with 10 seconds on the clock and those numbers still standing on either side, that they were not going to get it over the finish line, but show that even when all the chips are down, they can win dirty, Tim, and that's what counts.
They certainly can. They got the job done, and I think Kendrew's face there says it all. You know, Team Secret had to feel like they had that one. They were there so so much through that matchup. We've said DarkZero struggled with time when it's been the last 10 seconds they can't get it done, and they needed that bit more time, and then in the very last round they prove us wrong to win the whole thing.
The irony of it being done in the last round is the best part of it as well, and it's going to sting for the Secret boys, but on the bright side, one, you've had a great series there that everyone's going to remember as one of the best games you've had in the series, but on the second side of it also, that they get themselves a point on the board, and every point genuinely will count.
Unbelievable performance there, but props to Team Secret as well. They certainly played their part fantastically in that matchup, and what an evening of entertainment it has been for us all.
Well, hopefully there's some more fantastic games to come as well. Tim, feel ready for bed. After that as well, my voice is going, my head's like, you know what, there's a pillow somewhere waiting that's got your name on it, but what a day of games that's been.
Oh, it has been. I've been watching them avidly all day. I've been absolutely glued to my screen.
I hope you've been watching them. You've been casting.
Well, I've been casting some of them. I've been watching the others. I've been absolutely glued to my screen, just like everybody else at home. When we switch off here, we switch on another screen to watch the games, just like you guys. And, you know, what a day it's been. We've been absolutely ruined with quality Siege today.
We have. That's 3 days down. Only 2 remain. I'm sure tomorrow we'll start seeing some teams getting ready to head home. It comes down to crunch time, ladies and gents. Don't be missing it. We'll throw over to the desk to break down that series. Good night.
I'm Nicholas Morton, but you know me as Pingu. I'm a 2-time Rainbow Six Siege World Champion and former top Rainbow Six Siege player in Pro League. Welcome to my Siege Ranked Bootcamp. We're talking 20 seconds left on the clock, you got the diffuser in hand, what do you do? Play the way that you're comfortable with, because you have confidence when you're in this position, that is when you're gonna be at your very best. Good luck.
Our longest series at SI so far, map 1, map 2, and map 3, all going to overtime. They're tired. We're tired. Kendrew looked like he was gonna cry. Fresh started crying. Just kidding. Honestly, I low-key feel like I want to cry though, because that was extremely long and exhausting for all of us, but certainly a hard-fought battle. So let's take a look at map 3, because to be honest, it's all a blur to me right now, to be completely frank. But, and I'm gonna put you in the hot seat a little bit here. You know, we were talking about NJR earlier. You were chatting about him, but now you're like, okay, I see you, because I believe he was just too short of tying the SI kill record.
Well, yeah, I did kind of call him out, or a part of DZ out at the beginning of our pre-show, saying that there's been some inconsistency in performance, and I think NJR heard that, and he's decided to step up today. First map, going huge, really stepping up together with Pambazoo, and then on the third map as well, there was an ace by him in the third round. He got really close, as you mentioned, to break in that kill record on a best of 3. I wouldn't be surprised if he's ending up to be our MVP for today, but yeah, he definitely stepped up, and I think there was a major addition to this squad today.
I do take one small issue though. One small issue with the way DarkZero are playing. When they might not have known that he was on for the best of 3 kill record, but when he's playing so well, you've got to let him cook. You've got to let him get on those frontline operators. He played the whole theme park attack, playing Flores, not getting into any gunfights whatsoever when the kill record was just 4 kills away. You know, it was a great performance from him, but I would have liked to have seen him break that record.
Talk to me about the mental gymnastics for both of these teams right now. I mean, I can't imagine. The win, you're probably on such a high. That loss, though, heartbreaking, devastating, right?
I think particularly for DarkZero with the win, and we'll start with the winners, is that was a really dogged win. They just, there was Secret were a team that just would not go away. Obviously, we went to overtime in every single round. Now, to back up yesterday's performance of the way they lost, the nature of their loss, to go in and win today against a really tough opponent, that will do wonders for that team. That's the sign, you know, champion teams do that. And of course, DarkZero are a champion team, having won a major this year. They've got really high standards. They still won't be happy, but they got the 3 points and they'll move on and they'll take it. Okay, and Anne, it's your boy, our MVP, NJR. And you're singing his praises now, Anne.
Yeah, it does make sense. I mean, look at that, kitty. 74 and 31. That's nuts. Crazy for 3 maps. Yeah, that is a very, very well deserved MVP. You mentioned indeed the Flores on attack for Theme Park. Yeah, I would have liked to see him on a bit of a more fragged operator. You know, maybe actually going for that kill record, tying it or breaking it. I've seen a little bit of shakes in the last round. Maybe he actually knew that he was getting close to the kill record. I guess we'll never know unless we ask him. But yeah, I mean, it's good. It's really good for them to get this victory today for DarkZero for sure. Obviously, you mentioned they're a major winning team, right? If you talk about their opponents' Secret, right? Something that I'm really happy with is, right, they've lost today for sure, but we didn't see them drop their mental as bad as we saw them do yesterday. Whereas yesterday, after map 1, it was done. And you saw it on their faces. You saw it on the way they acted to each other. Now, there was map 2, and I saw smiles on Kendra's face. I was like, that's great. We're keeping up the spirits. And, well, despite them losing that last round, it came down to the very, very last round. I still feel like Secret can come out of here with their heads up.
Yeah, I'll be honest, they're going to be really frustrated with the way they played against Heroic, the way they played against DarkZero. It's not even that inconceivable that Team Secret, the open qual team from EU, could have been top of this group with 8 points right now, but for like literally 3 or 4 rounds going a different way. One game against Heroic, or a few rounds against Heroic, a couple of rounds against DZ there. They will be like encouraged because of their performances, especially today, but they will also be down knowing that they are 5th in the table with 1 point.
Okay, so Secret is playing M80 tomorrow, I believe. So you guys are being pretty optimistic right now for Secret. I just heard your reaction.
I'll take it back. Yeah.
Thoughts? And just looks at you and goes, yeah.
There's only phase after that as well, so.
Oh, great.
Only phase.
Yeah.
It's a tough road ahead for them for sure. Okay, let's just pivot from that. DarkZero, what do you feel about them moving ahead into SI?
I feel that obviously in groups, it's not actually about playing the best Siege of your life. It is about getting the points. The points was so much more important for DarkZero today than the actual result, than the actual performance was. They've got the 3 points, they've put themselves in contention for first place, so they just need to go and back it up again when they play. Obviously, it's not fully in their hands because they've got the rest day. When they play again on Saturday, that's where they need to back it up and just get a 4-point victory.
Yeah, I mean, I was going to mention, them having a rest day tomorrow is great. They've had a really long, tiring game today that went 3 maps overtime, right? To have a rest day after that, it's perfect. They'll be able to regain themselves, have a little bit of time to chat, like, what did we do wrong? Why did we let it get so close? It could have completely gone the other way, for example, and then take it up against, well, M80, not also the least opponent.
I love that I said that, and y'all were just like, we retreat, we retreat. Okay.